Hello and welcome to the Caneswear podcast. Today is Wednesday, April 29th. Are we on?
Yeah, we're on.
I see myself moving in slow motion, so I wasn't sure. So today is Wednesday, April 29th. It's been we're after spring practice. Next up for the Canes is the actually fall practice. I know a lot's been happening with recruiting this week. I think 3 people just jumped off a boat, Gio. They're so depressed right now. The Canes, we got to the national championship. We're having an unbelievable recruiting class. We didn't get a few guys. I mean, who knows if we'll ever get another recruit here, Gio, that's worth their weight in salt. I'm here to say the Canes are going to be in good shape, Gio, no matter what happens. If a kid doesn't want to come play here, we will move forward and go ahead and take the next step either way. So a lot of exciting things going on. Remember, we're sponsored by Caneswear, The Spot, Miami Fan Shop, and lots of great things. Gio, just announced a 16% sale if you go ahead and go on the app, only on the app now. Okay, so if you go on the app, caneswear.com app in the Apple Store or the Google Store for the next few days, you can get 16% off if you purchase something on the app. And that's if something is on sale, you can still get another 16% off, and it's CW16. It only works on the app right now. So go ahead. If you go from your mobile phone, you put in caneswear.com, you'll go ahead. It'll say it'll be on top to go ahead and click to download the app. So 16% off on the Canes mobile app only. So good stuff. We're excited about that. Lots of new stuff has come in. Lots of cool polos, shirts, things like that. Like this polo, I know I showed you guys once before. I love this one from Tamiami. It's like it's called I think it's called the Slacker or something like that. I'll get that right. Real professional, Gio. So caneswear.com. Remember, we want to get this program going. We got a lot of exciting things happening. Some other shows are going to be happening as well. So smash the like button and go ahead and not only download the app, but also go ahead and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Without any further ado, since I'm all over the place, welcome to the show, the one, the only, the man, the myth, the number one guy in recruiting, and on your ex, Gio.
Thank you, Brett. Thank you for the introduction. I know there's definitely been several Miami fans that have felt like they wanted to jump off of a ledge because of what I like to call ebbs and flows in recruiting.
Mm-hmm.
You have the momentum. Sometimes you don't. Then sometimes you gain it right back. However, like I shared when all that news started spreading out to my private board viewers as well, and I'll say it here on the YouTube channel here as well, Miami's not going to just concede a recruitment. No commitment has been made to this point. I also shared that day as well that Miami was planning to see 5-star offensive tackle Mark Matthews this week. That in-person visit will take place tomorrow. Again, is it a tough position they're in? Absolutely. It's not a money thing. It's not a coaching thing. It's nothing of that sort. It's, they have to find a way to convince this kid that, hey, staying home is better than going to Texas A&M. That's really all it boils down to. I've seen some fans jump into conclusions saying, we're lowballing, we're being cheap. And it's nothing like that. I've been on record saying on here several times, every time Mark Matthews has been brought up, that this is a guy that Miami has classified as, we're all in. We will be competitive in this recruitment to land this guy. We will do everything in our power to land this guy, whether it's financially, from a coaching perspective, relationships, everything. I mean, relationships are huge as well. Miami's been recruiting. I've said this before on this very show. Miami has been recruiting Mark Matthews since before he was an offensive tackle. When he was playing as a defensive tackle for St. Thomas at the beginning of his high school career. The relationship goes multiple years. You're talking about 3+ years, several visits to campus. So I think the fans that have taken the position like, oh, the coaching staff sucks and they can't recruit and this and that, it has nothing to do with that. It just sometimes, look, I think I've put it in the best words to my Discord subscribers, and quite a few people agreed. No matter the most logical decision when you consider compensation, proximity, and coaching and development all rolled into one, no matter if it's the most logical decision, sometimes some kids will go against the grain. They will go against the grain no matter how much it makes sense. Is the recruitment over? No, it's not. There's no commitment yet. Miami's still trying to work through it. We'll see what happens. There's other schools trying to see if they could inch in at the last minute. But regardless, do I think Miami will be fine if they do or don't land him? Yeah, I think they will be fine. I definitely think they will be fine because they have contingency in place. They've been recruiting other high-profile guys at the position, so they're not going to be left with their hands empty at the altar that, oh, man, my bride-to-be is not here. Miami's not going to be in that situation. You got Oluwasemalore Oluwasemalore from the state of New Jersey, who's the number 2 offensive tackle in the country. Miami's been recruiting now for some time. They had him visit this spring. There's a chance that he could announce soon as well. This could be one of those situations where Miami and Texas A&M just kind of trade blows here, actually. They could play out that way. They're still recruiting several others. So I think, Brett, I think perspective has to be put in place for Miami fans. I absolutely get it. It's a guy in your backyard. He's a 5-star. However, is it the end of the program if he doesn't come? No. Miami has continued to move on, especially in the Mario Cristobal era. There's been a few guys along the way that have kind of spurned Miami that Miami fans love to have. And, hey, it's worked out for Miami. Miami's been fine. They made a championship last year. As a matter of fact, Brett, even like referencing this most recent NFL draft, Miami had 9 guys drafted, their most since 2017, the infamous 2017 season where Miami made that run that year, the turnover chain and everything. So production-wise and development, they're getting that done. Then you couple the fact with, are some of these guys hitting their ceiling? Yeah. Miami just had 3 first-round draft picks in this draft, their most since 2007. So you're talking about 2 decades since that has happened. And I don't think it's going to stop, right? I think Miami's going to continue. I think that Miami has a chance next year, in next year's draft, that they could have double-digit guys drafted between a strong senior class that they have in place right now and some underclassmen that are expected to take that next, well, I shouldn't say underclassmen, some juniors, draft-eligible guys that are expected to take that next step in their development. I point to guys like Justin Scott, Armando Blunt. Those are guys that immediately come to mind that could be that, or even some of the cornerbacks, OJ Frederick, Xavier Lucas, few guys that come to mind that they could jump early. So, look, I think Miami fans just need to have some perspective here. Nothing has happened yet. I think people just need to relax.
I agree. I remember it was last season sometime. We didn't get somebody, and everybody thought the floor fell out. It was over. We were never going to get another guy over a 2-star. It was over for Mario. It was over for the program. And look how we rallied. We're getting more and more players. We believe, close to a tier 1 team, if not a tier 1 team. I mean, everybody's talking a moment. Are we going to be the number 1 class? Are we going to be the number 1 class? Gio, I think it's going to be the number 1 class, Gio. I really do. We lose a few guys, and we can't recruit anymore. We are the worst. I mean, every other one of these teams they're vying for players just like us. And you said it's not the money, but the Texas A&Ms and all those schools have a ton of money. They've got as much money as us. And also there's playing time. I saw something where some people said some of the players are worried about playing time. But we just showed how many freshmen we played the last couple of years. I mean, we play freshmen all the time. freshmen are stars with us, not just Malachi. But you look at all the other guys, Fitzgerald, who was starting, so many other guys that were key players for the team. Pringle was key. So, you come here, if you show you can play, Mario's going to play you. So, yeah. And the other thing I'll say is everybody's so upset about when we lose somebody. I mean, it's not like the old days where you're going to go ahead and, okay, we're going to lose this guy. If he has to sit out a year if he wants to come back to us. Now it's like, you know what? We got another shot at him next year. We got another, you know what? It's like a lot of kids want to come home after the first or second year. So many kids that we can't even take them all. We may want somebody that we're recruiting, when they're in high school, but after 1 year, we may not be interested anymore.
Hey, look at Damon Wilson, who's on the roster now. He signed with Georgia out of high school. Miami extremely wanted him. Mm-hmm. Signed with Georgia out of high school, spent a couple years there, had production there too, wanted a larger role. He went to Missouri, blew up last year, one of the best pass rushers in the SEC, and early projections as a first, second round guy for next year's draft. Now wants to come into Miami because what he's seeing that they're doing with their front four, with their defensive linemen. Hey, you can't be a sore loser at the end of the day. I'm not saying that's the situation that'll play out with Mark Matthews, but I also think this too, Brett, when it comes to the whole Mark Matthews thing, and I know people have been complaining about the Myson Johnson Cook scenario as well. Look, when it comes to Myson Johnson Cook and essentially what happened there, very similar into the hands of like what happened with Derek Cooper a year ago. Miami has full faith and belief in what they have, their running back room, that they're not going to go over the market to land a running back when they have several others still interested. And not only that, this is not to say that Miami's settling either, because I've seen some people like try to argue this even with me or brought it up to me in some questions recently. And I said this, that Miami, and people can go back and check previous shows on here as well, aside from the Discord board, but Miami's viewed Ty Keys from the state of Mississippi basically in that same light as Myson Johnson Cook, to the point now that, Myson Johnson Cook is already committed to Auburn and everything. Miami's focus is all in on Ty Keys right now. Let's say, that they do get Ty Keys. There's a very good chance that they can. They're battling with Florida State and Ole Miss there. But let's say that happens. There's a chance Miami may not take two running backs, because that's an exclusive decision they had made beforehand, that they were willing to take Johnson Cook and Keys in the class. So circumstances can change. Things absolutely can change. However, I don't think it's fair that some Miami fans view that, the way Miami's recruiting, like, oh man, it's always next man up. No, sometimes there's some guys that they have very much at the same level, which is how they were treating the quarterback board as well. And it was first come, first serve. You locked in your spot. Hey, you know what? The other guy, you snooze, you lose. That's how Miami's operated with some certain situations. So, for example, like I said about Mark Matthews, if he ends up following through with Texas A&M, Miami's got another guy right in the wings that they've been going after with the same intensity. So two last things I'll mention on recruiting, and we could focus on some other subjects here. But Jackson Dollar, the 5-star tight end, he's going to be announcing a commitment tomorrow. I do not expect it to be Miami. Miami did come in with a late surge in the past month and a half. I've mentioned it on the show that, they made a little bit of an impression on him. However, I think it's going to be more of a toss-up between Georgia and Notre Dame tomorrow. Unless something drastically changes from now to the morning, I don't expect Miami to land Jackson Dollar, but they have other guys that they're still recruiting at tight end, like Anthony Cartwright, and several others that are still in play. And they already have DeMarcus DeRoche in the class as well. They want 2 tight ends in this class. And the other side of things as well, when it comes to defensively, I'm sure everyone's seen the news. If you are an avid Miami Hurricanes recruiting fan, you've seen that David Fallarone show, the 5-star defensive tackle from the state of Illinois, will be announcing a commitment on May 15th. I still think it's a little too early to say where he would be headed, but for the most part, Miami and Notre Dame, those are the two main competitors right now for his decision. I know Texas and Georgia are somewhere in there as well, but those are the main two competitors right now. Miami left a really, really good impression. You hope it sticks. I know they do plan to see him again really soon. The coaches are out on the road right now. They're visiting prospects around the country ahead of official visit season in May. So there's definitely going to still be a lot of movement. I also seen this. Look, Brett, I'll say this. I've seen some fans even go to the point of trying to say that, oh, all momentum's gone in recruiting. All the momentum's gone because Miami missed one guy and could possibly, I don't even know if I want to classify Mark Matthews as like a miss because, like, yeah, it technically can be because it's a local guy, but they've done everything. It's not for like a lack of effort. They've done absolutely everything. Sometimes you can't force a person to do something. You just can't.
Was the opportunity for both of those players, or is the opportunity more likely to going to play early if they don't get Matthews and also the running back? Because they're not going to play early here, probably. They may, but there's a big line ahead of them.
Mark Matthews could play early at Miami. Mason Johnson-Cook could be right in that running back rotation right away. But the same goes for Ty Keys and Oluwasemalor Alubabala. It's crazy that I can still remember this kid's name.
Amazing you can say
incredible name.
I can't pronounce my name.
Those two other guys I mentioned, they could compete right away as well. So this is not like a apples to oranges thing. It's that Miami's had their board pretty expansive this year. So, if one guy doesn't go their way, they still have options on the table. So I just want fans to have their real perspective here, to stop acting like the sky is falling, because I do remember fans did this very same thing last year. They said, oh no, we're missing this guy and that guy and blah, 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 blah. And the class ended up fine. I'm not saying that the saying that Benny from You Heard podcast loves to say. He always says, wake me up in December. But what I am saying is there's 7 whole months. There's so much time on the clock until these kids sign. And for the people that say, oh, kids don't flip anymore, I suggest you go take a look at every kid that was ranked as a 5-star in the class of 2026 and see how many flipped or made multiple commitments. It absolutely does happen.
So, I mean, of course, I don't think it's anything to get seriously worried about, but I understand everybody micromanages every single thing. They want to make sure it's a microwave society. There's micro twice in the same paragraph. But so it's just everybody wants instant gratification. I mean, we want. And it doesn't always work like that because, we're battling against, like I said, other schools that have needs and have caps. And we don't know for sure that teams are not paying, that are possibly paying more money for some of these players, correct?
Yeah. Well, perfect example, like Mason Johnson-Cook. Auburn paid a ransom for him. That's really all it boiled down to. Miami, they couldn't come down to a number that both sides would agree on because Auburn was willing to offer so much more than the rest of the competition, and that's that. If the person, all kids are different scenarios. Look, I'm going to be honest with you, Brett. Miami has more on the table for Mark Matthews than any other school. So no one could ever come back to say, damn, I wish Miami offered him more. They've done everything.
Well, sometimes it's not in the cards. We just had, obviously, we had a first rounder. What round? How many guys did we have drafted from the offensive line this year? Was it 3 or 4?
3 guys drafted from the offensive line, a first rounder, a third rounder, and a 6th rounder. Yeah. 3 guys in one.
Impressive. So
and another one immediately signed within 10 to 15 minutes after the draft was over. James Brockermeyer to the Atlanta Falcons, because centers don't get drafted that high that very often.
I mean, you have to look at it. I think everyone every fan knows that Miami's offensive line is right up there. We have great coaching. It's just something. It's going to be, while Mario was here, it's going to be a traditional thing. Great offensive line. He was known for that at Oregon. He was known for that everywhere he's been. So you know what? Anyone that doesn't want to come here, obviously there's a reason, and you can't twist their arm if they don't want to be here. And and the old saying is, if you don't want to be a Hurricane, we wish you all the best, but you're not meant to be here at this school. We used to say that we weren't good.
Maybe this sounds like being a homer, but either you want to be a Hurricane or you want to be beat by a Hurricane.
There you go. And in Cook's case with the money, I mean, you don't know. These kids, it's very fragile, especially a running back. We saw so many guys that we thought were going to be great, and they didn't pan out to anything. They barely played, or they get injured. So take the money if you can. If someone's offering you that much money, you got to grab it. And he's not signing a lifetime contract with Auburn. I mean, he could be here next year. I mean, I don't know how these contracts are going now.
I don't blame the kid at all. I don't blame him at all.
I mean, who's not going to, maybe to sit and get a few? That's crazy. It's crazy. I mean, obviously, not to belittle any other positions, but the quarterback is the key position in football. To me, the most difficult and most important position in all of sports. You put all sports out there, quarterback is the position. I mean, pitching, you got 3, 4, 5 pitchers, that are solid, a 5-man rotation. You got baskets, but in football, you've got one quarterback, and every single time, he touches the ball every single game, every single play. I mean, there's nobody more important. I know the center touches it also, but it's definitely not the same. So with that being said, I mean, it's no matter what happened on this recruiting the last couple of weeks, this has been a great offseason. It's been so exciting. The countdown to the season is here. What are we? Are we less than? We're almost at 100 days, correct?
We're getting there. So we are at it'll be May in 2 days from now. So about like 12 weeks from fall camp, and then the season right there. So you're 16 weeks away. 16 weeks away from the regular season. So almost approaching 100 days.
And stay tuned for the Kane and the Canesboro Publishing. We're gonna have the countdown, right, Gio, of each and a player, and we're gonna try to get
countdown.
We're gonna try to get some of those players for the shows as well. It's awesome time to be a Canes fan. A lot going on. One thing, I played golf this weekend in a charity event. I'm the ringer, Gio. Me and Jeff are the ringers, so we're there so everybody else can look good. So we're playing, but we played with a couple of great guys. One was David Gill, Hall of Famer, 2023 pitcher. I think it was 96 to 99. Played on the championship team for the University of Miami. Great guy and everything like that. We may have him on the show sometimes as well for baseball. And another guy that was grew up in Miami, but his name was Connor Vernon. He played for Duke football. He's, I think, still the Duke all-time leading receiver. Played 4 years. Another great guy. Just an awesome time we had out there. Thank you to Michael Friedland for inviting us and putting that tournament together, and his company. It was an awesome experience. So meeting those two guys was fantastic. A great time. They were more excited they were playing with Canesboro, though, me and Jeff. But that was the funny thing. Here with athletes, oh, it's great. They're like, oh, yeah, how did Canesboro start and everything like that. So it's kind of funny how that goes. So besides that, listen, if you want a gift card last time, make sure you let us know that you want it. We know who you are. Just send the message to Jeff or to Gio or I that just with your full name and if you have an email account with Canesboro already. If not, what your email is, we'd appreciate it. We'll do some kind of contest today as well. Remember, download the Canesboro podcast. Till Sunday, we're going to do this 16th anniversary at 16% on the. If you come to the store, it's 16%. But if you buy it, you got to download the app to get the 16% as well. So 16% off everything in the store. Unless it's like a Malachi jersey or something like that, which we only have a couple left. Amazing. Everybody's had any more Malachi jerseys. Can I put my name in for the Malachi jersey? We have tons of Malachi jerseys coming in for the season. We'll have Mensa jerseys, and we have so many really cool jerseys. Adidas was with me last week, and they told me how many jerseys and and most people would pass out that we have coming. But I said, "Is that all?" So at Canesville, we go big or go home. What else we got, Gio?
I think we hit everything on the docket for today, at least. It's not like a ton of talking points in the middle of the week right now. However, I think we hit everything right on the head. It's just more so wait and see and what happens with Miami's visit tomorrow with Mark Matthews. So that's the big topic right now. I'm sure more will come up. Oh, and the other thing, well, something with baseball, but I saw the question come up, so I'll answer when we open to questions now. But as always, like, share, and subscribe to the show. If you're on YouTube, if you're not on YouTube, if you're watching on X, I know we have a ton of viewers that are on X. Please subscribe to the channel. It helps out the algorithm. We're trying to build this brand new channel. Every little bit helps. Thank you.
Correct. If everybody now, there is a lot of people on right now. I mean, a lot of people, and there's a lot of questions. It's like there's hundreds of questions, I think, comments already. So if everybody likes, it'll be great. The bigger our algorithms get, the more prizes we'll be able to give out as well, and we'll do a lot of other things because we're all about giving back at the Canesville TV network. And one other thing, Mondo cannot be in here. We all love Mondo. He's in timeout today. So Mondo is in timeout. Yeah, I don't know what he did, but she said, someone said, "Hey, we're not just turning the lights out on you today, Mondo. You're in timeout." So take that for what it's worth. He can't be here today, but he sends his love.
All righty. Question time. Howard Stern.
Wow. He just unseated Juan Manuel, who's always the first. Oh, wow. Congratulations, Howard Stern.
So he said here, every time Mario gets cocky, we get effed. We treated St. Thomas Aquinas like St. Thomas Aquinas kids like Plan B. Zayden Gamble, Jaden Carey, now Mark Matthews is doing the same thing to us. I wouldn't say exactly it's like Plan B, like because Miami's invited those guys to visit and whatnot. There's actually another guy that I'm prioritizing at St. Thomas, but I don't anticipate Miami to land him. But that's Julius Jones Jr., the son of the former NFL running back who played for the Dallas Cowboys. I don't think Miami gets him. However, I wouldn't classify it as Miami necessarily treating those guys as Plan B because, they've invited them to exclusive events and everything and whatnot. But, yeah, is there some truth in somewhere in there? Yeah, not when it comes to Matthews, but more so like Miami's been pursuing other safeties more than Zayden Gamble this cycle. They have other guys much higher on the board compared to Jaden Carey. That's just like the natural flow of recruiting. Not everyone can be taken by a single school. So, there's some kids that they've dreamed of playing for Miami. They don't end up playing for Miami. So it's just kind of how it works. But let's see here. Blue Green Street. How long will Daniel Cuvée be out? So JD Arteaga spoke about that. He said it would be about 10 days. It's a back strain, and they're going to evaluate from there. I know the baseball team has had some ebbs and flows of their own with the regular season lately. So, I know every Cane fan is probably hoping that they will finish the year strong, hopefully some type of run for the postseason again. We'll see. But obviously everything gets a little cloudy and murky with Daniel Cuvée, their best player.
Absolutely.
For at least the foreseeable future right now. Let's see. Juan Manuel. Has Mario Cristobal lost his recruiting hunger and acumen? They're taking 5-star offensive linemen from your backyard. He hasn't lost anything. Look, here's the other thing about perspective I want to say. This is what I don't get from Miami fans right now. And this is not me dogging Miami fans. I love all of you. I love all of you. However, Miami has 2 5-stars in their recruiting class right now. And official visits have not even started yet. This is just perspective I want to give fans. 2 5-stars are in this recruiting class right now, and they're battling for like 3 other 5-stars that are about to make decisions within the upcoming weeks now before official visits. It's not including other guys like Caden Henderson and other players that they're chasing after. So I think Miami fans just got to have some perspective, man. You have a 5-star quarterback and a 5-star receiver in this class, something that has never happened since Mario Cristobal has been here. There's been other 5-stars like linemen, defensive linemen, but there's never been a 5-star quarterback or a 5-star receiver, at least in a recruiting class for Miami in the Mario Cristobal era, let alone in the past decade, a actual 5-star receiver or quarterback. This is a first right now. So I think Miami fans need to pump the brakes a little bit. Juan Manuel asked, is Stephen A. Smith a clown? Depends what your definition means by a clown. I'll share with you guys this from working in different avenues of sports media in the past. Depending on your lane and where you're working at and what you're doing, sometimes they specifically ask you to drum up more drama to give more views and more entertainment for consumers. That it's just all part of the game. That's just how it is. Sergio, thank you for always stopping by. He said Texas A&M, Gio. Yeah, Texas A&M has definitely been a thorn in Miami's side. However, I do want to say this. I got into an argument with a few Miami fans over the weekend in a group chat I'm in. Still love those guys. We've been talking for years, but I told them, I said, listen, you know what? You want to talk about all this stuff Texas A&M is doing? I said, go be a Texas A&M fan, but don't forget that Miami, when it matters, they've handled business against them every time.
Well, at least the most recent time, and that's the time that mattered the most.
Yeah. Well, and even at that, you know what? This speaks levels. You know, I'm gonna push some propaganda right now. Some Miami,
push it.
Miami-based propaganda. Texas A&M and Ohio State had over 10 guys drafted this year, so they had a little bit more draft picks than Miami. Miami beat both of those teams. They beat both of them in the playoffs. So, what does that say about Miami as a program?
Mm-hmm.
I think fans need to relax. Mario, look, I get it. When people are upset about what happened with SMU and everything, I absolutely understand. I was halfway there with you guys at the time. I was turning into a little bit of a negative version of my own self. But what more can you complain about? What, that they didn't win it all? Yeah, there's a few things that, you know, it could have been done differently. They could have won. However, would anyone take back the run that they had?
Absolutely.
No. Like, if you're a fan, would you take that? Like, I get it. The fans that are complaining, oh man, we should have won it all. I absolutely hear you. There's been other times Miami should have won it all as well in the past. To me, my truthful belief, because I've seen from the beginning when Mario Cristobal got here and everything that he's done along the way, this is not a short-term staycation. Like, Miami's here. Miami is here to stay. Okay, this is not a just one-off that, you know, get in the postseason once. That's not the case here.
You know, we won back-to-back seasons of 10 wins, and we're saying all preseason, right before the season, can we do it again? We did it with a different quarterback. We did it with a different, even though we had Fletcher, we did it, you know, we had a different running back, pretty much a lead running back, and a different quarterback, you know, with Cam. And then we went ahead last year, we had with a different quarterback, and we went back to back. Now, a third year in a row with a different quarterback. We can win 10 wins again, which we should be able to. But you realize the Canes we played the number 1 pick in the draft. And while he did play well at times, we did shut him down at times also. The number 3 pick in the draft, obviously, we shut down for 10 carries for 31 yards and Jeremiah Love. The number 4 pick in the draft was Tate, I think, Cornell Tate. We totally shut him down. I mean, so 3 and 4, we totally shut down. I mean, if you saw the way they played against us, you would never think they were the 3rd and 4th picks of the draft. And you can say that about the 1st pick also. I mean, he had that strong run. He had a couple of back shoulder passes, but I'm happy that he was the 1st pick in the draft, but he didn't look like the 1st pick in the draft against us. So we dominated a lot of these players that were the best players in college football that went to the NFL. How many teams can say that? I know how many teams. I can count them on no hands. 0.
Yep. No, it's impressive when you see, just looking hindsight now and seeing where a lot of these guys got drafted and everything. It's incredible
It
what
is.
money
It's
did
amazing.
last year.
It is totally amazing. But
I'll tell you what, if you're a Dolphin, and Hurricane fan, you're probably pretty happy right now that Miami, the Dolphins, they kind of got a steal in Chris Bell in the third round. You know,
Chris
I thought he
Bell,
was better than a third rounder.
I was on the show with Bobby on the Finns Talk Network for the John. They picked him. He was so excited. He wanted that guy so bad. We wanted Chianti, being Hurricane fans, but we did get him. It is amazing that the Dolphins had 13 draft picks, the most in the NFL. The Canes had 9 draft picks, 4th in college, and none of them crisscrossed. So I know I and everybody else wanted Reuben Bain. We wanted Chianti Scott. We wanted others. I understand the Dolphins did want, they wanted offensive line help. Their offensive line, that's where they want to bulk up. So hopefully they'll have a good offensive lineman, the kid from Alabama. And that's about 6'7", 352 and runs like a 5'2". He's as fast as can be. But also hope that we're regretting at the same time not drafting Reuben Bain for our defense. We couldn't have them both though. So I knew that's the guy that wanted. But congrats to all the Canes that were drafted. Congrats to all the Canes that went for free agency. It was a great showing for the University of Miami.
Absolutely. So I want to do a quick sidebar here before we continue with the questions. Brett, I want to ask your opinion on this because I'm sure you've seen some of the reports that have come out. And this is a quarterback. Mind you, this is more about me pushing propaganda and perspective that Miami fans should view things here. And I think things could be a lot worse right now than what people think they are. Brendan Sorsby and the whole gambling situation, which is 4 years ago. He did this in 2022 when he was a freshman at Indiana. I'm sure the average college football fan didn't even realize.
Correct.
Sorsby used to be at Indiana before, the head coach that they have now. However, do you think it's harsh or not that he could basically give up all of his eligibility this year? And we're talking about a guy that was paid a ton of money going into this offseason. Miami was an option for him as well. He ended up turning down Miami for Texas Tech. I think it well for all sides. Miami got Darian Mensah. However, how crazy is this whole story? I'm just mind blown. I'm like, wow. Yeah, I get it. It's not good to be gambling on your own team's games and everything. However, this was 4 years ago.
Well, I didn't realize that he did gamble on his own team's game. So I thought he checked himself into this because he was out of control, which a lot of kids are, for a lot of people are. I mean, you've got everything right here in your hand now with this phone, between gambling and fantasy and stocks. I can't even imagine how difficult it is now. And we all face that. I face that as well. But being a young guy doing, and depression, everything like that. But if you bet on your team, it's this is no bigger no. It's, I guess it's worse if you're was he betting on his team or against his team?
There still needs to be a little more clarification, but there's basically been pretty much hinted at that he did bet on some of Indiana's games back then.
Yeah, so betting, if you're betting on your team, I know the whole Pete Rose thing and everything, you could say, you're definitely not trying to lose if you bet on your team. You're trying to run up the score. Most teams are trying to run up the score and get as many points as possible. I think there's a big difference betting on your own team and betting against your team. Even if it was a freshman, if you were betting against your team, it doesn't matter when it was. I think that's pretty much curtains. I know he was 18 years old, but 18 years old is still 18 years old, So, and 18 years old actually is 21 until you can gamble legally, right? Or is 21 now?
I believe it's 21 now.
Yeah. So, okay. So technically, if you're gambling on and you're underage, how much does it count against you? So it's illegal to gamble anyway. An attorney could probably answer that better. But if he was gambling for his team, I think that he should just be disciplined and have to go through. If he was gambling against his team, then that's a whole nother story.
Yeah, the whole thing is wild to me.
Yeah, it's sad situation. And
I look at it from the perspective, like you said, though, like the age thing. We're talking about this was 4 years ago. So I believe he's had a red shirt along the way and everything. So we're talking about maybe he was like the range of 17 to 19 when this happened. I mean, you ask me at that age, anyone who's been that age, yeah, technically you're still an adult, but you're
correct.
still
You're correct. We're all human. We make mistakes. I mean, I always say never judge somebody on their worst moment. We're all, especially you're a quarterback, you're on top of the world, you can't do anything wrong. We just saw, with Chauncey Billups, Damon Jones, Terry Rozier. Those guys are older, but it's you just. All depends, but it's hard to judge somebody on their worst moment because we all have bad moments. Sometimes, if everybody got caught during their worst moment, it wouldn't be too good for most people.
Yeah. So moving along, One Manuel said, has the number 1 Malachi jersey and number 10 Mensa arrived yet? Well, Brett had mentioned that earlier. No Mensa jersey, not yet.
Not yet. Still, Mensa jerseys probably closer to July, August. There may be a couple of Malachi. I think we're out of Malachi. We had like 150. We sold them out right away. We will have plenty, and we'll have the stitch Malachis, which we've never had before. We'll have the stitch Malachis,
nice.
And that'll be and we'll have the regular, the premier jerseys, which are very nice for Mensa and everyone else. But the ones will be stitched. We will probably have replicas also, they're not around right now, but they will be. There is a number 10. There's one number 10 Malachi in the store. So, maybe just write Mensa right under it, and you got both players.
Let's see here. Sergio said, where's the Arizona tee? Here we go, my man. That's the go-to right there.
Yes, I like that.
Let's see. Sean Helton. Hope we get back on track with Mark Matthews. Yep, you got to see tomorrow. They'll be seeing him tomorrow. Christ is God, Messiah and King. I absolutely like. I like your YouTube name. He said, "Hey Gio, can I ask a question and get a serious answer if you don't mind?" Yes, you can actually. And he said it's a 2-part question. I'm going to get to his right now. So Sean Hilton asked here, chances of getting Caden Henderson decently well. Miami's in the mix there. Texas A&M, LSU. No expected imminent decision. It's going to be more so summer or right after summer. So we'll see, but they're in it. Raymond Rodriguez, comparing Matthews versus Cantwell, if they were in the same class, how would they stack? You asked me personally, I think Jackson Cantwell, maybe from a strength and conditioning standpoint, was a little bit ahead of the curve compared to Matthews. And the reason why I say that is both of his parents are literally Olympians, like former Olympians, and there's a big emphasis on that with him and whatnot. I think Matthews coming out of high school, at least the same stages, is like going into their senior year, a little bit better footwork than Cantwell had. I think what I would say is the difference between the two. Christ is God. He said it's a 2-part question. I'll get to his question when it comes up here. Jimmy, thank you for stopping by, Jimmy.
The warehouse days. Actually, I took a picture with Jimmy and his kids in the warehouse way back in like 2010, and we replicated that picture a few years later in the store, and they'd grown so much. Amazing seeing everybody grow up. 16 years in Caneswear. So, Jimmy, thank you for popping in. Thank you for being a loyal Caneswear customer during that time.
Howard Stern, every time Mario gets cocky, this happens. I wouldn't say Mario's getting cocky. Money Counter 5. What's up, Gio and Brett? Waiting to see, can Coach Damian Lewis bring us a 5-star whale? Big boy recruiting. They got a shot at it. Look, I'll tell you this. I've been talking up Justin Scott all this offseason, but you speak to a lot of the NFL people. Ahmad Moten is highly being considered as either the best or one of the three best D tackles for next year's draft. So he's in that discussion to be a first rounder. So I think Damian Lewis needs to get a lot of credit there because Ahmad
Absolutely.
made a really big jump last year.
Everybody talks about Jason Taylor, but it's a team game. It's a group of guys that are doing all this.
Juan Manuel said, Gio and Brett, how big of a nuclear bomb did Miami dodge with Sorsby? Could you imagine the crisis hotline and diarrhea in the pants would break out if Sorsby was the QB and Coral Gables? That's what I was saying.
We dodged a bit, 100%.
When I was talking about perspective, Brett, because
yes,
that was the guy that Miami was really going after.
No, you're right, and it's that was I didn't even touch on that. You're right. It's a it's like when Al Golden came in. All right, now Al Golden, as we know, what happened with him. But as soon as he came in, I went to his first, I think it was the Riverside Hotel. I loved the way he spoke and everything like that. I said, this guy, we got to coach. It was after Shannon, I think. I did preparation, and then right away, what happened? The axe falls. We find out about everything wrong that went wrong behind the scenes with I think it was Nevin, right? Was that the ball? Everything fell apart. And so you just never know. You get a quarterback, and we got Ward turned much better than we expected. We got Beck. He was injured. Much better than we expected. That hammer can fall on anybody. You go for your guy, and that guy either gets hurt or something like this.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. Let's see here. Christ God, Messiah King. He said, why is it Brian Hartline gets any wide receiver he wants? Yeah, it kind of appeared that way when he was at Ohio State. And, yeah, they had a run of guys. Mm-hmm. However, now him moving on to USF and everything, I'm sure that'll change things a little bit. I am curious, though, if he could land a couple of sleepers at USF now. We'll see.
I think they will. I think they've got some money. I think they'll go ahead. They can play. They're in South Florida. You only got to say, come for a year. And that, it's like Florida's at USF, UC, they can look at themselves. Not, a guy could want to stay there because they can still offer more money. There's plenty of alumni money there. But, it's like, hey, we'll play you right away. We'll give you an opportunity to show what you got. They can look at themselves as, I'm not saying they're a junior college or something like that or a minor league system, but it's harder for them to compete with the bigger teams. So get those guys that are really good. Give them an opportunity. They may like it there so much that they'll stay.
Yeah.
And that program can turn around real quickly. I mean, they're right. Tampa, can recruit down south. They can recruit that area. It's got quite a few athletes as well. So, USF got close to Coach Levitt. What they get to number 2 in the country a few years back?
Yeah, when they had George Selvey and all those guys. Yeah, way back. Mm-hmm. Speaking about George Selvey, his son is actually one of the top offensive linemen next year.
Really?
He's like projected to be a 5-star, and Miami's actually recruiting him a lot too.
Wow.
Garrett Gittleman, thank you for stopping by.
This kid's like a son to me.
Howard Stern. Oh man, Howard Stern is mad, Brett. He said Miami Hurricanes are striking out worse than the Mets in baseball right now, and I am pissed. All this is happening because we treat South Florida kids like Plan B kids, like redheaded stepchilds. So let's take a step back, though. Let's be honest here. Let's go through the starting lineup of what Miami had during this past year, especially in the playoffs, and where all these kids were from. So your quarterback, Carson Beck, he was from Jacksonville, Florida. Your running back, Mark Fletcher, he's a South Florida guy. Malachi Tony, South Florida, yes. Mm-hmm. CJ Daniels, originally from the state of Georgia. Same thing for Keelan Marion. The tight end, Elijah Lofton. He's originally from Las Vegas. The offensive line from left to right. So Markel Bell from Mississippi. Your left guard and Matthew McCoy and Samson Okunlola. So Samson was like from the Connecticut area. Matthew McCoy was from Northern Florida. Your center was James Brockermeyer, who's from Texas. Your right guard, Inez Cooper, was from the state of Alabama. Francis Mauanoa, technically state of Florida. However, That's because he transferred to IMG Academy in the middle of his high school career. Very little known fact, but Francis Mauanoa, when he first became like a big time recruit, like as an underclassman, he was actually a big time defensive tackle prospect. He
Really?
could have, he could have been a monster of a defensive tackle. Yeah. But he ended up moving to tackle. So he's originally American Samoa. So not from state Florida originally. Defense-wise, Akeem Mesidor, Canada. Ruben Bain, South Florida. Defensive tackle, Ahmad Moten, South Florida.
Mm-hmm.
Justin Scott, Chicago. Linebacker, Mohamed Toure. He's originally from, I think it's Pennsylvania, if I recall, or New Jersey, around that area. Wesley Basaint, South Florida. Your cornerbacks, I get it. The skill position, guys, is never something you should ignore with South Florida. So, for example, Xavier Lucas, South Florida. OJ Frederick, South Florida. Damari Brown, South Florida. Ethan O'Connor's from the West Coast. But I get it. The other kid, Jacoby Thomas, Tennessee. Zachariah Poyser, Northern Florida. Bryce Fitzgerald, South Florida. And Keontae Scott. Keontae Scott is originally from the West Coast, California area. So I think, you asked me, I think there has to be a nice balance between, you got to pluck the best of the best from South Florida, but it can't just be all South Florida guys. You got to recruit nationally.
Absolutely.
And this goes hand in hand. You look with almost every national championship roster or teams that played for national championships at Miami. They had a mix of guys. Yeah, they had South Florida guys, especially at the skill positions, and some like up front on the defensive line. However, there was a mixture of guys from out of state. Texas, California, New Jersey was a big stomping ground for Miami, especially early 2000s. So, look, I get it. You know, I get what Howard Stern's saying. He's upset or whatever. Nothing's happened yet with Mark Matthews. We'll see. Miami will see him tomorrow. However, you can't take everyone either, and especially when it's going to be a smaller class. You just can't take everyone. You can't.
Correct. And everybody is out there recruiting South Florida heavily. Every SEC team, Ohio State, they're all going for South Florida. It is number one on their map, I'm sure, that they're looking at. So, but yeah, hopefully it turn around. What are the chances we can still get them? 10%?
With Mark Matthews, there's still a chance. It's okay. I wouldn't classify it as being done, sealed, and delivered because, again, at this point right now, he's going to take in a visit from Miami tomorrow. So, they'll speak their piece, and we'll see what happens from there.
I mean, who knows? I think it's coming.
Oh, that's bold. Blue Green Street. I know several people who have worked at high levels with Brett Yormark closely over the years, and the universal review is that he's a phony. Happy to pass along these sources if helpful. Interesting. There's definitely been plenty of rumors circulating around that about him potentially being the next athletic director with Dan Radakovich retiring on June 1st. So that'll be a little over a month away from now. Dan Radakovich will no longer be with the program. Look, if you've been around the program, you would know that Radakovich retiring is not too big of a surprise. It's been in discussions for some time now. It's just not spoken about publicly. But if you're around donor circles or people that are big supporters of the program, you're very well versed in this, that this was coming down the pipeline. I'm sure you the same as well, Brett. However, when it comes to the AD search, there's others they have in mind, though. So, there's been a lot linking Yormark to Miami. I get it, like the business side of things, because the landscape of college football is definitely changing a lot. But until a hire is made or until there's more information shared, at least from the university side, we all just have to sit and wait.
Yeah, a lot of people when Radakovich came, obviously he was a giant hire from coming from Clemson. I think he was the highest paid, one of the highest paid ADs. he came along a time we needed him. People were upset about why we're re-signing the baseball. They were upset, but everything he's done was phenomenal. I mean, he helped turn this program around. And, you know, a lot of time athletic directors are behind the scenes. But he really helped turn this program around. And, you know, he was here for a few years. What was he here totally? 5 years? 4 years?
Radakovich has been here 4 years.
4 years. So, but you know what? All of our best coaches have been here 4 to 5 years. Also, if you think about it, you know, Howard Schnellenberg was not here for that long. Jimmy Johnson, Dennis Erickson, you know, they were here and they left, and they got. In his particular case, he's probably retiring, right? How old is Radakovich?
70s, actually.
Okay, so you know what? Wants to spend time. I'm sure he'll be close to the program. But you know what? He did a great job getting us going. You know, before, I mean, most people won't even know who the AD was before, and they were not happy that, you know, who it was and everything like that. So, well, you know, I remember, what was it? Sam Jankovic was he at Sam Jankovic and Paul D? Were they the two ADs during the big championship run?
Yeah, Paul D was the early 2000s era. Sam Jankovic during the 80s, 90s. Yeah.
Yeah, so Sam, and I remember a lot of people were upset when Ron Frazier didn't get it, which would have been great if Ron Frazier wanted to be it at one time. Probably would have got us Skip Berman as baseball coach, and it could have been a whole different thing. But still, you know what? Sam worked out pretty well. I mean, who knew who Sam Jankovic was?
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, it was before most people were born. You at least, Gio. And, you know, but they did a great job. So you never know who we're going to get. But hopefully, I don't think, I don't know, Blue and Green obviously knows someone. I know a few people that know know your Mark very well. I don't know anything about him. I know his brother is obviously the
Big 12 commissioner.
Big 12 commissioner. I know your Mark worked for the Panthers, ran the arena for 12 years. So I don't know what he does. I know Rock Nation. I know he's running it, but we shall see. Hopefully that we are headed in the right direction, and all the moves they make are going to be smart ones.
Christ is God, Messiah and King. He said, Geo, 3 questions for you. Wow. So now it's 3 questions. I'll see them coming up here, my friend. Howard Stern said, I'm going to say it like it is. Miami does not see Mario as one of them. You're from Columbus High. You're from the other side. Don't get cocky. Stop that shit. I wouldn't say it's like that.
Well, Howard Stern, we know, hated Mario last year. Then he came to terms with Mario after the SMU. He turned it around. And I still didn't like Mario that much. This year, he started off liking Mario a lot. And now it's like all of a sudden, Mario didn't get a couple of players, and Mario's back in the doghouse. So at least Howard Stern is definitely, you know, he goes one way or the other. When he's either hot or he's cold.
Kinsey Lloyd asked here, who's the next commit? That's a tough one, actually. A very tough one, because Mark Matthews could announce at any point. Oluwasemelor Owabala could announce anytime within the next couple of weeks as well. David Fallerone show will announce on May 15th. And again, you know, a guy that's been trending very well with Miami for some time now, Andre Hippolyte, the safety out of North Miami Beach. You know, a commitment could come at any point from him. You know, Miami's been pushing there. So I think that's a very tough one to say. I don't think anyone could necessarily say for sure who they believe is the next Miami commit, because it could come from different guys, actually. I wouldn't say there's an exact order right now. So I'd put it that way. Howard Stern said here, Texas A&M convinced Matthews he's going to start from day one and be a left tackle, and being a left tackle where the money is at, and then he's never going to play left tackle here because of Jackson Cantwell. You see, you want to know what's the easiest way? Let's say if that's what is Texas A&M is trying to tell Mark Matthews. Here's a few things. Mark Matthews plays right tackle right now in high school. That's what he's been playing for most of his time at St. Thomas. Has not played left tackle yet, at least exclusively. The other thing, this notion that if Texas A&M is trying to push that narrative, the 2 offensive linemen that were drafted in the top 10 in this year's NFL draft, they were both right tackles for their team.
Mm-hmm.
Spencer Fanu and Francis Maunoa, they were both right tackles for their respective teams. So That's if that's what Texas A&M is trying to sell, that's a bunch of baloney.
I
Because
totally agree with you. First of all, I don't understand. Jackson Cantwell is obviously 18 years old. He's a beast. He was the #1 recruit. I don't know, if I'm Matthews, I'm going to say I'm going to play with the best left tackle possibly in college football next year, okay, or one that's going to be growing. I'm going to be the right tackle. For 2 years, we can dominate. And then when Jackson leaves after 3 years or 4 years, I'll have another year of eligibility probably, and I'll move over to that slot. And I'll have 2 positions I can play in the NFL. Yeah. I don't think it matters right tackle, left tackle. Look at this. The Dolphins drafted a guy. He was a tackle, left tackle, right? He's going to be over to left guard or so, or right tackle. So I don't know. You know what? It just happens in the NFL. I hate to think of a kid that's 18 years old who's worried about where he's going to be in the NFL when he hasn't even started. If you start thinking about the NFL now, you're in trouble in college.
Yeah.
And they're not paying you more money because you're a left tackle. Listen, you got to solidify all 5 positions, especially the 2 tackles. This guy can be part of a bookends that is heard all around the world if he comes to Miami. He'd be crazy not to.
Absolutely. Not only that, the all-world left tackle that Texas A&M claimed they had in Trey Zune, Reuben Bain, he beat him to a pulp with 3 sacks and a blocked field goal in 1 game.
Exactly. So, one of the things, sometimes the kids want to get away. There is one thing, they don't always want to stay home.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm playing at St. Thomas, and do I want to go to Miami where, I want to get away from my friends. I want to get away from people. I want to get away from family. I want to go to Texas A&M where they're going to have 110,000 people screaming in the 12th man instead of Miami where, unfortunately, half the games are going to have 40,000 people or 50,000 people.
I heard he wants to attend the midnight Aggie yell. All right, Juan Manuel, will there be life for tomorrow if Mario and staff loses a 5-star O-line in their backyard? It's a sign of end of days. Go to church, boys and girls, pray. The world as we know it will stop.
Juan Manuel, I think, has got a point there. Juan Manuel is going to lead us in prayer.
Raymond Rodriguez, when will new football merchandise start rolling in for this season? Fitted hats included, Brett.
As an excellent question, Raymond. We will be getting a lot of stuff in July. July, I think 15th or so, things will start rolling in. Be getting more stuff in August as well, and more stuff in September. I will say that Adidas is making the caps for Miami this year, but I do think Niguara is going to be the main player back in 2027 for Adidas. They're going to be partners in that. That's if I wasn't supposed to say it, please delete this from the records. But we have a lot of cool flex fits coming in that nobody has. We have a lot of hats coming in. There's a huge order. I'm very excited about it right now. So I'd say starting in July, look for a lot of new merchandise.
I'm ready for
a couple of killer shirts coming in 2 weeks that you're going to love. There's 2 new shirts that are phenomenal.
I'm ready for the anniversary. I'm ready for the anniversary stuff.
Yes, the 100th anniversary?
Yeah.
Yeah, the 25th anniversary. That's going to be ecstatic. The 25th anniversary, 25th of the 2001 season, 2026. It's going to be, we need to build a bigger store for what's coming in. It's going to be exciting. And speaking of the anniversary, Gio, did you know if you go on the Caneswear, download the Caneswear app and you can save 16% on all items. It's one purchase. You can get a CW16. You're allowed 1 purchase per customer. And CW16, if things are on sale, you can get 16% off of that. In addition to the sale, lots of good things. We just got a bunch of new polos in. A lot of exciting things happening in the Canesville right now.
Let's see. One Manuel said, Gio and Brett, why aren't you guys panicking?
I am. Juan Manuel, all my fingernails are eaten after you went ahead and announced that.
I look at it.
Is it the Armageddon?
I look at it like this, Brett. Why am I going to panic at something that hasn't taken place yet?
Correct.
Bagging up 40.
Good point.
Lamar Stewart and Jeremiah didn't come home. Yeah, but Miami was a very different program.
Yes. I think
Shamar,
there's no doubt Jeremiah comes home, would have signed with us. And he would have signed with us definitely if Cam Ward would have came first, he probably would have signed with us. Cam decided he wanted to come with Cam, and if he knew Mensa would. So I'm really glad that he's staying there. I mean, he could have easily transferred. I know he's and got the same amount of money here, but he's got a commitment to Ohio State. He's got one more year of college. He's obviously going to go to the NFL. I love it that they've gotten the mocks because they did so well in the mock drafts this year. They pretty much got none right. Mel Kiper Jr., that's what he's paid for, and they got nothing right in the first round outside of Mendoza. Everything else was wrong. And but they have Jeremiah Smith going to the Dolphins in the second pick. I am predicting the Dolphins to win at least 10 games, so we won't have the second pick of the draft.
oh wow.
Yes, we are going to have 10-7. I think if Achane stays healthy behind that big line, he's running for 2,000 yards.
Jimmy Cannell says here, let's worry about getting the fans in that.
That's it, Jimmy. I love it. Jimmy is right. Let's sell it. Here's what we fans can do. We can go on X, we can go on Substack, we can go on Facebook, we can go on Instagram, we can go on TikTok, we can go on the #1 podcast in America, the Canes Wear TV podcast. The biggest thing we can do is we can go in the stands, Jimmy. You're right. When we go to a Friday night game and there's 20,000 people in the fans and an ACC, it's sad for those kids. And I know we've never sold tickets really well, even when we were in the Orange Bowl. We're 5-time national championship. Nobody cares. For 4-time championship, when we're playing Rutgers and Temple and all those teams. So, Jimmy, great point. Let's get in the stands. Let's fill the stands. Because when we are in the stands and we're filled up and it's all our crowd, we win. And this game, if we were sold out against Indiana, it was all our fans, we would have won.
Jose Gonzalez, I agree on the playing time discussion. Some of these 5 stars, and they know they can't be guaranteed playing time, so they exercise other options. Can't blame them or Miami for that. I get what Jose's saying, but here's the thing. If you're an absolute dude, and you are ready to play out the gate, Miami has shown that they are not afraid to play you. They did it with O.J. Frederick. They did it with Malachi Toney. They did it with Bryce Fitzgerald. Ruben Bain was a freshman All-American himself. Mark Fletcher played right out of the gate too. So this is even dating back to the beginning of when Mario was here and even till now. Freshmen do play at Miami. It's just, are you that good? Are you that good that you could play out the gate? I think there's definitely a bar that's been set at Miami now that not necessarily can every true freshman come in and make an impact right away because Miami actually has depth now. They have more top-tier talent now. So, Proud Cat, dad of 8, he said, Xavier Lucas as well. Yep. Bagging up 40. It is what it is. We end up with an 8 to 10 range class, nowhere near the hype of a top 3 class. Here's my thing, though. I want to say this. Who has been saying that Miami would have a top 3 class, though? I do know that one of the big, national guys from the recruiting services has tried pushing the narrative that, Miami's chased for the #1 class this year. I never understood that particularly. And this is just not me talking trash or anything. It's just me being very real. Miami's taking a smaller class this year. Off rip of that alone, impossible to land the #1 class. To get the #1 class, they would need to sign nearly 30 guys like what USC did last year. They would have to do that. Miami's not signing 30 high school players this year. They don't plan to. So I've said this, that I think Miami has the opportunity to have a top 5 class because of who they're involved with and actively engaged with, and actually have a real shot at in recruitments. So, I think that's more fair. I think, they could finish in that top 5 range, but top 3 or #1, I'm not sure where that's coming from though. Bagging up 40. Who else are we recruiting at running back? That's a top 10 back running a low 4.4. Well, here's the thing. Not many running backs are running the 40-yard dash that Myson Johnson Cook has ran, or the 100-meter. Yeah, he's an athletic freak. There's no denying that. However, running back is one of those positions, and this is shown in the NFL as well. It's not always about the guy who has the fastest 40. There's a bunch of intangibles that come into place there. The vision, the power, contact balance. There's how good they are in pass protection, how good of a receiver they are as well. There's a lot of value that goes into running backs. Like I said before, this is not just a now thing. I could pull up receipts of this. I've been talking about Ty Keys and how Miami feels about him since the regular season of last year, like this past season that just happened. It's not just a now thing. So he's been in that light for them. They absolutely view him very highly. So I get it, though. People love the traits that Mason Johnson Cook had. I mean, he's like 6'2", 230 pounds, running a 10.3 in the 100-meter, 4.4 40-yard dash. I get it. I absolutely get it, but it is what it is.
Yeah, that's why Auburn paid him. I mean, if they paid him, I mean, it was a late NIL push for him, a lot of money. And Auburn's had some good backs, too. I mean, obviously, the best of them being Bo Jackson. So, I mean, they've had quite the running back, system that they've had in the past. And we can't get them, especially if they're throwing a lot of money at him. I mean, if you're giving him an extra $1 million or $2 million, who knows what they paid him? They could have paid him, what, $4 million to go there? $3 million?
No, it wasn't that much, but they definitely
$10 million, Gio? $20 million?
They definitely went over the market compared to the other teams.
All right. They overbid.
Yeah. Hey, some teams do that. That's fine. But I've said this before, that Miami has a belief in their own process of how they value these guys, that there's just certain guys, they're just not going to do it. They're not going to do it. Juan Manuel, hey, it's Miss Hudson and Big Bill up here in Chapel Hill. Big Bill thinks Mario is slacking in South Florida recruiting. Is this true? Big Bill and I think of taking a recruiting trip. No, I don't think he's slacking. I just think they're being very selective, though. I don't blame them for doing that. Bagging up 40. Don't forget the DJ Jacobs miss. That's 3. Yes, but they're still very much on him. There's a whole recruiting cycle to play out, so we have to see. Raymond Rodriguez, fans getting too caught up in stars. We got to learn to trust evaluations. I agree. Until the evaluations start to fail more than they hit in Mario, I trust. I agree, because, look, Ahmad Moten, he was a late bloomer, late take that received late Power 4 interest out of Cardinal Gibbons. And look at him now. He's literally being talked up as potentially a first rounder in next year's draft. And the most dominant defensive tackle during the playoff as well. You ask anyone that watched that college football playoff, the best D tackle was Ahmad Moten.
And Cam Ward was a 0, wasn't he? Went from 0 to number 1 pick.
Bagging up 40 said, we have been evaluating and missing on elite talent for years. It's gotten us where I agree. It's not always the highest rated guy. Look, Malachi Toney. Anyone who lived in South Florida knew what Malachi Toney was coming out of high school. However, you look at the recruiting services, there's some that thought, oh, he's a 3-star. How could you watch him and think that he was a 3-star talent? I'll never understand that. Juan Manuel, Dollar should commit to that dollar store up there in South Bend. Anthony Munson. Gio, how about that corner that just decommitted from Georgia? Are you talking about Dante Wright? Did he finally officially decommit from there? Because that's been expected for some time. Bagging up 40, same top 6 schools get the best talent. The 5-stars go there. Very true. One man, well, Miami can recruit themselves out of a Dairy Queen bag. Here we go. Christ is God, Messiah and King. He said, you have 3 questions, please. Can't stay long. I'll post them. Hopefully you can address each one. Yeah, I'll address them on here once they come up. Hassan's shared here. Gio, the fans are upset because top South Florida recruits leave the state and don't go to Miami, and other top recruits from different states stay at that school. But in South Florida, they leave. Yes and no. So, for example, there's a lot of kids in California that bypass USC and they go to different places around the country. I think people forget this too. Like Hayden Lowe, for example, who was a 5-star himself, he had the opportunity to go to USC and he turned that down to go to Miami. So, you can't have it both ways. Miami has plucked guys like Justin Scott, Marquise Lightfoot, Israel Abrams now, all 5-star guys in recent years. They could have gone to a Notre Dame, an Indiana, Ohio State, a little bit closer to home, but they didn't. They went to Miami. So I think fans are not looking at that perspective either. Obviously, you're never going to land every single guy that you have on your board or even just locally, but you got to land the best of the best. So I get it why fans get upset about the Matthews thing. So we got to see. Bagging Up 40 said, I don't see special and I see Keys 14th last year. Ty Evans 58-19. Gio, my nephew is Clarence Freeman, class of 2029, 6'7" left tackle from Spanish River High School. UGA coaches just offered him today at his school. We know it's early, but we're waiting on the U. Let me take that name down.
So he's 6'7" left tackle. He's class of 2029, which means I think that's class of 2029 to go into Miami as a freshman.
Wait, what do you mean by fresh? Like
it says class of 2029. It's a class 2029 that he's going to be the 2029 recruiting class, which means
he would be coming out in that year.
He's 15 now.
Yeah, so he'll be a sophomore this season.
He's 6'7" and 15. Wow.
Yeah, that's incredible.
That is incredible, yes. He still could
By the way, Ty Evans, I took down the name right now. I'm going to send it to someone, and we'll see what happens. Keynes Jones, what's up, guys? I'm just saying hello since it's the Brett, Gio, and Juan Manuel.
What's up, Keynes Jones?
Hassan said that he loves your shirt.
Yes, this is I said slacker before. It's the Slack Tide. It's made by Columbia, and it's same material as the Tamiami, which is one of the most famous shirts they make. It's unbelievable. It's a PFG, I think it is. It's great material, light as can be. It's awesome. It is an awesome shirt. There's a couple of brands out there now that are $150, $160 for a polo. I see in the school store, and that they were offered to us also. This is right about $100 right now. Plus, if you buy it right now, you get 16% off on our mobile app. So awesome item. Thank you very much, Hassan. Always appreciate you supporting us.
Keynes Jones said, "You are killing that name, Gio." Just hey, man, I'm telling you, I've been practicing that full name.
Nobody pronounces names better than Gio.
Let's see. Bagging Up said it's much harder to flip than before. Yeah, it depends. It varies. Not every 5-star is going to flip, but still a good chunk do, though. Bagging Up 40. Matthews wants that big crowd, big stadium experience. Exactly. Like, look, I've said this before. Miami's not for everyone. Marvelous.
The big crowd it's hard to beat. There has got to be nothing. I mean, I know when our stadium is full, the excitement, every single game those guys play, it is, as far as you can see, people, it is really exciting. I mean, and you know what? Nobody ever goes in to beat them. No one beats them like that, but except for us. So we beat them. So come down here, Mike. Come down here, Matthews. Let's go.
Marvelous Michael, thank you for stopping by. You reposted the stream.
Thank you. Remember, smash the like button. Follow us. Subscribe to Canesware TV. We're very excited about the new network.
Gio Kane 75. Gio, he's asking something to me, and he's also Gio. He said, Gio, I'm really not that bothered by losing Mark Matthews. We need elite D linemen. We're losing a lot next year. I agree. Yes, they're going to lose some pieces there.
True, the money is only so much money.
We can put that money for Mark Matthews and go get the elite DTs because we're going to need that, and elite cornerbacks also. I put linebacker there as well. I think linebacker is the biggest one. Jose Gonzalez, when you look at the consistent overall success Mario has had over the past few years, with recruiting and in the portal. Are you really worried? I know I'm not. I'm with you, Jose. Fans do this every year.
Instant gratification, microwave society.
Bagging up 40, Lanier sniffing Texas Tamu too. You know what? We're gonna call him Temu. We're gonna call Texas A&M Temu.
Tamu. Is Lanier thinking about going there?
Yeah, there's some interest there. LSU's also working on him. Syracuse is still another program there, but we'll see. Canes Jones 357. He said, "We want players that want to be Canes." You see, I'm down with that saying. However, you can't take everyone that wants to be a Cane either.
No. Unfortunately, and we've missed on some guys that want to be Canes and they become stars, and we don't even give them the time of day.
Hassan shared here, Gio, hopefully people should remember it's only April. I know it's harder to flip recruits now, but it's still early. Remember, we flipped many recruits last year. Yes, they did.
Great
I
point.
did flip quite a few recruits even last year. I think people are forgetting that. Christ is God, Messiah, and King. Why does Heartline get any wide receiver? So I answered that one. And Corey Raymond, any DB. Well, Corey Raymond has a long track record of coaching defensive backs, so he gets a lot of benefit of the doubt. And Lincoln Riley, any QB. Well, Lincoln Riley, what he did between Baker Mayfield, Kyler Murray, Jalen Hurts, even partially Spencer Rattler, and then Caleb Williams. He's had a lot of success with those guys, so I don't blame kids.
No, you got three guys right there, top picks. Two, so 2 top picks and 1 guy in the first round.
And then he said here,
so hopefully we will duplicate that.
He said here, all due to their track record. Mario is supposed to be their equivalent with O-line, yet we have to fight and claw for players. Well, this is what happens in what you call big boy recruiting. So you want the number 1 or number 2 or number 3 offensive tackle in the country. You got to go to war for them, like a recruiting war for them. There's other teams that they're going to be bidding there. They're going to be bidding. They're going to be putting down their points, their PowerPoints per se, trying to explain to these kids why you should come to my program. Look, it's just the name of the game with that. I don't think it's necessarily that they're struggling, though. I mean, they just got Jackson Cantwell last year. So,
true.
Again, not every local kid wants to stay local either. So I think the fans just got to let it play out. Miami's still working on the situation. We'll see. Juan Manuel said, I do blame Mark Matthews for making my fandom experience sour. Damn you, kid.
I know. Poor Juan Manuel. I feel bad for him.
The other questions from Christ he shared here. Why do these big recruiting events like pool party, etc., we have where a bunch of recruits come, never result in commits, just hype that falls flat on its face? I wouldn't say it's so much hype that falls flat on its face, but I think Miami fans need to understand this, that not every single kid that they invite to the pool, like the pool party events or the exclusive events that they do for recruiting, are all necessarily takes. Also, what Miami's doing is they're trying to size up these kids. So they're trying to size them up to their peers and how they interact with the other guys and how they fit around the program and the current players. That's another reason why they do that as well. It's also why, not many people know this, but Mario Cristobal likes for recruits that are interested in Miami that they see Miami practice first before making a commitment.
Mm-hmm.
That's a big one because Miami practices a certain way, and I don't think Miami's a program that's for everyone either. Let's see here. Christ is God, Messiah, and King. Number 3, why do we always have momentum or lead? Then at the 12th hour, they get snatched from us. David Stone, DJ Jacobs, Mark Matthews, Ormani McLean. When will we do that for top elite recruits? Let's see here.
We've had some clips come to us, haven't we? The last second they pick up the hurricane hat.
Here's the thing, though. Miami has done that, though. Miami snatched Jordan Lyle from Ohio State. They also snatched Marquise Lightfoot within 24 hours before his announcement. He was initially going to go to Ohio State. Miami snatched him from Ohio State. He ended up going with Miami, committed to Miami, and followed through with that. Some other guys that come to mind. Who else would I put in that category? Jackson Cantwell. There was a lot of – I think people forget this. there was a ton of back and forth with him around this time last year. And then he ultimately made up his mind and said, you know what? I'm going to Miami. I'm going with the most logical decision. He even said it. He said, look, everyone offered me money, but I went with who can coach and develop me best.
Good point.
Let's see. Bagging up 40. Chris, the track record, OSU still picks their 5-star for receiver every year. Without Harlan, we get 1 5-star receiver every year. Yeah, we'll see if that changes, though. Sean Hilton, Gio is
always got the receivers. Just like Alabama got the 5-star receivers. I mean, West with our quarterbacks, and if we can do it again, if we can get to where we were last year or win it all, which we all want, of course. I mean, it's going to be. We show a third year in a row with 10+ wins. We get to where we got last year, win it all. We're not going to be able to. I mean, the recruits are going to be pounding down our door.
Yeah. Also, another guy that Miami snatched. People forget this. Mark Fletcher came really close to going to Florida, actually. Mm-hmm. Miami snatched him from Florida at the last minute as well. So it goes both ways. You know, programs do this all to each other. It's not Miami just getting players snatched from them. And Miami's snatching players from other people. Forget this too. Miami literally just took Darian Mensah from Duke. Literally.
Exactly. Could be the best quarterback in the country.
I think fans might be living a little too much in the moment.
Exactly. Ohio State has that wide open offense. They always have under Day, even when even before when he was the offensive coordinator. But the you know what? They were shut down by Miami this year, obviously. But once we get that people feel that we're a perennial wide open offense, I think more of those receivers are going to be coming. After they see what Malachi does and others do. Barkley came here this year. I think if he has a monster year, I think more receivers will want to come here.
Yeah. Let's see. One said, Gio and Brett, did you see the generational talent that is CJ Carr on their spring game? Have you ever seen anything like it? Notre Dame thinks he's a Hall of Famer. No, I'll be honest with you, Juan Manuel. I thought CJ Carr had a pretty good season last year for Notre Dame. I think he's a good talent, honestly. Jose Gonzalez, for anyone who says we always miss out on top recruits, have you seen this roster? Wide receiver room, running back room, DB room, beyond loaded. But yeah, Mario's losing his touch.
All 3 of those loaded. And our defensive line is loaded.
Yeah.
And we replenished. We lost Bain. We lost 2 first-round draft picks in the first round from our defensive line. And we replenished. And some people think this defensive line could be as good or better. I mean, that's pretty solid. And they're all 5 stars, aren't they?
Good majority of the line, yeah.
So obviously those are 5-star guys.
Yeah, Damon Wilson was a 5-star guy. Armando Blunt, Lightfoot, Justin Scott, Hayden Lowe was also 5-star as well. There's a few 5-star guys on there. Kashawn Stansel was borderline a 5-star guy too, who just came into the program. So Albert McKinney shared here, we are too focused on 5-star South Florida recruits. I'm going to college football fan Mario with his recruiting and evaluations. Miami Town is good to win the Natty. Miami fans are worried about the 5. I agree with Albert. Howard Stern said, Zayden Gamble and Kerry don't have committable offers. Julius Jones dead, but everybody in this world now, even in Pakistan, knows he's going to Notre Dame. I wouldn't say necessarily Notre Dame for Julius Jones Jr. There's a very good chance he could end up at Oregon, actually. Taco 305, thank you for stopping by. A good friend of mine here. He said, Gio, thank you for stopping by.
Sorry, honey.
Howard Stern, I told everybody once they lost Mason Johnson Cook, it's only going to happen again. Now they lost Matthews. This tends to happen with every coach. That's not Jason Taylor. We'll see. We'll see if the bleeding stops. Albert McKinney, the recruiting over the top panic is crazy. I agree.
Correct.
Howard Stern said, Gio, Abrams was a laydown. He fell into our laps, and that was not a recruiting war that we won. That is basically a laydown. I wouldn't classify Israel Abrams as a laydown type of situation, though. Like, he's a very good quarterback. I wouldn't classify it like that. Mm-hmm. Keynes Jones brings up, let's see. The fans only hear about the 5 stars or popular names, but that doesn't mean we are after those names you never hear about. I hate to hear the phrase Miami whiff You can't make an athlete or his parents choose Miami. You're either with us or against us. Doesn't mean we didn't go all the way in. Thank you.
True.
Thank you. Albert McKinney said the recruiting BS over the top. Taco, always a voice of reason. He's in one of the group chats I'm in. He said Gio is in that Thunderdome chat. I was fighting some people a few days ago, Brett.
Really?
Yeah, I was telling. They were going crazy. They're like, Mario this, Mario that. I'm like, have some perspective. It's
how soon they give up on it. Mario, I mean, we just went to the national championship. We just had a beautiful run after the SMU game and the must-win. We ran the table in the playoffs. We almost won the national championship. I know we didn't. Back-to-back 10 wins and then 13 wins. Correct, we won 13 last year. And we have so many 5 stars, but I understand people are upset, like with the instant gratification.
Yeah. Howard Stern, I'm effing pissed because I saw Ron Zook when I was younger, my personal friend. He effing destroyed Miami, taking all the players that were diehard Hurricanes fans to Gainesville. I wouldn't compare Mario to Ron Zook, though. I mean, Ron Zook never had the success Mario's had.
Exactly. I wouldn't compare. That's crazy. That's crazy. I mean, Ron Zook.
Keynes Jones said here, you can turn a 5-star into a 2-star if he or she isn't developed properly. Hey, you want to look at a great example? Look what happened to DJ Lagway.
Mm-hmm.
Look at what happened to DJ Lagway.
Exactly.
He didn't reach anywhere close to his potential or ceiling at Florida. You know, it's all about the right situation, the right fit, and the coaching as well. It's a big component.
And guys are coming here and having their best years. You know, CJ Daniels, we wanted him for a couple of years, right? They kept on looking. He finally came here, and he had a great year. I know, you know, he had a great year compared to where he was the last year. And we got a lot of guys like that are better when they come here. And that's something about coaching. I know we've always said that our coaches can't develop things. You can say Manny Diaz, for example. Manny can't develop anybody. Jalen Phillips, he was basically out of football, and he had that monster year when he came here. Other players as well. So it's not only bad news, guys. We're in good shape.
Howard Stern said, I respect Texas A&M players. They actually do better in the league overall compared to Ohio State. Ohio State gets a lot of hype and produces a lot of bust players. He does kind of have a point there.
Ohio State does have some of the better players. I think, you know, I think they just have so many players drafted but still, you're right.
Let's see. 233 ESPN said, good evening, guys. Thank you for stopping by.
Good evening, 233.
Albert McKinney said, Howard Stern is a troll saying Dutch. No, look, Albert, I think Howard Stern is just very passionate. He's venting tonight. Taco said here, the issue with Sorsby is he bet on his own team. They looked down on it. Yeah, true.
Absolutely.
Keynes Jones said he will never be eligible again and most likely most possibility to play in the NFL. I don't know if it'll pass his opportunity to play in the NFL. I think I could see someone taking him in a supplemental draft or something.
That's a possibility, but we know how much the NFL is against gambling also. I hate to say that a kid at 17 or 18 years old has gone ahead and totally dismissed his whole life in sports. Again, I mean, judging them on their worst moment. And then you saw Ridley, right? Ridley gambled, and he's back. I mean, it happens. I just think, you know, I don't think that kid, you know, I think he should get an opportunity in the NFL. He's just on double secret probation at the Delta House.
Taco said here, Sorsby bet on his team. He just didn't play in them. See, that's my thing is
good point.
I mentioned that before that, like, he wasn't actually playing at the time and he was young and everything. I don't know. It's a very tough gray area.
You're betting on your team. There's 100 other teams out there to bet on. Now, I know you want to watch the game and be there. You're a fan, you know, you're young and everything like that. So, again, if you bet on his team, you know, he's seeing how they're practicing. I'm a lot better than if we bet against it. If we bet on his team, it's not as bad. Just like Pete Rose. If we bet on his team, I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
You're trying to win anyway. I feel so good about my team, I'm betting on them.
Yeah. Hassan shared here. Gio, if you had to take a guess, who do you think will be Miami's next AD? I can't honestly answer that right now.
The Rock.
He said, Hassan said he wouldn't mind The Rock. He said he thinks him and Mario will work well together. I don't think The Rock would take that job, and I don't think he would necessarily fit that. I will say this, however, no matter who the AD is, it's all about alignment from top to bottom. So Miami has a school president now that is a huge believer in athletics, which Miami has never had before. They have never had a president,
correct,
this school that has cared about sports as much as Joe Echeverria does.
Mm-hmm.
So I think Miami's going to be fine either way. That's just my opinion. Proud Cat Dad of 8 said, what are your thoughts on the AD search? We need someone who can build and maintain relationships with donors. We don't need any maverick personalities to alienate people. I agree. You got to strike the right balance. And what I mean by striking the right balance is you can't have an AD that is just hyper focused on the top dollar donors.
Mm-hmm.
There has to be some level of relationship with the mid-level guys too. And I know this was, look, I'll be honest and blunt. I know this was a little bit of like the concerns during Rad's tenure here and whatnot, that, you know, some of the mid-level donors, they felt like there was a lot of emphasis on like the top dollar guys, and they would kind of get left to the side, and they wouldn't get any attention or be spoken to. I get it. I understand. You know, it's all a business at the end of the day. However, I think it's just fostering and nurturing those relationships. Just it's definitely, being an AD is a tough job, because there's always going to be someone, at least from the donor side of things, that's going to be upset with you. It happens.
Oh, absolutely. Everybody you want to be. I mean, like when I coached sports, I ran the Cub Scouts way back. There's always parents that, you know, they want more. They want attention. A lot of people donate. They want attention, and you have to have the AD has to be able to, you know, pat people on the back, things like that. But they got to deal with all the sports. They got to deal with NIL now. They're paying the players. I mean, it is a much more difficult position than it was a few years ago. You got to worry about overseeing all the tickets. There's a lot of things that's involved. But you're right. It's not a job that I think it's more. The job is more than one person can do a lot of times.
Yeah.
But we need somebody with experience.
Juan Manuel said, I think Sorsby may have a problem betting his G.I. Joe toy soldiers and a girlfriend for a bet. Betting in sports is unwritten rule. That is a G.I. Joe toy soldiers. Wow. That's a flashback right there. Taco said Pete Rose would bet on himself. Because of that, I could see them throwing the book at Sorsby. Him. True. Mm-hmm. Old Kane said, Gio, we were wrong in thinking Miami had reached the elite level, recruiting top 3 to 5, and are still what we've been the last 4 years. I don't think necessarily. I think it's still too early to say. I will say this. Yes, I've been on that theme for a few years now. I said that Miami's a tier 2 team in recruiting, but I felt that a push in the postseason could change that. I still think the jury's out on that. You got to wait for the entire cycle to take place. 233 ESPN. Hey, Brett, any new Canes fitted caps at Canes wear? You already answered that, right, Brett?
Yeah, no new caps have come in yet. We do have plenty coming for the season. That is for sure July. Should be sometime July, August, the latest.
Geo Kane, that's what I want. The stitched Malachi jersey. Yeah.
Everyone's going to want that, and we have a lot coming. Don't tell me.
How is our midget military tight end coach that's never got a pass in his life too? Oh my God. He also said, Fabian Upshaw struck out badly with Myson Johnson Cook, but I blame Mario for hiring him so late and somebody with no experience in recruiting. I will say this. I've heard positive actually on Fabian Upshaw since he's been hired, especially even from like the NFL level. He was very highly respected actually. So I remember like when Matt Merritt came into Miami, like when Miami hired him from USF, I remember so many fans were like, oh my God, who the hell is this? Why are we hiring a running back coach from USF? Mm-hmm. He did a really good job. So I think just let the results play out on the field first before entirely judging coaches as well. Sean Helton, chances of keeping Nick Lanier in the class, decent. You know, they're going to have to fend off other schools. You know, it's
Why
not
would you want to leave unless it's a lot more money?
yeah.
I mean, you know what? I mean, you can see what Malachi is doing. You can see what he probably patterns himself after Malachi, right?
Yeah. He's also very close to Malachi, too. Albert McKinney said, we're making way too much of Mark Matthews. I agree with you, Albert. Hassan said, after Sorsby's issues, I'm hearing that Texas Tech is looking at Dylan Raiola, the guy that went to Oregon, I believe. Here's the thing with that. There was a ruling. I know there's something that came down today, and basically everyone's calling it the Xavier Lucas rule. And it's kind of like that loophole where you unenroll and then you enroll at your next school and everything. The NCAA is really trying to come down on that right now. That little loophole. Yeah.
I mean, a word has to mean something. I know I know, you know, when we get the player, it's different, but a word really needs to be something. Your word. If your word doesn't mean anything, it's never going to matter. I mean, once you start going back on it, it's and I'm not just saying that, you know, for players for us to get or something like that, but once you go back on your word, what do you have?
Yep. Howard Stern, get ready because Texas A&M is going after Amir Sears the same way. Yeah, you're right. They're one of those schools. Syracuse is, LSU. They're all in that mix. Humble Rabbi said, never wanted Sorsby. You're not the only one. There's definitely some people who had strong opinions on that they didn't think Sorsby was a good fit for Miami.
I literally think the best, I mean, not just because we got him, I do think Mensa is, if I had any quarterback to take starting and you got one quarterback, and, you know, we didn't even know he was available at that time, obviously. We went and took him. You know, I think he'd be the guy I'd want. And we did go after him. People say we can't get players. We didn't get a quarterback that we wanted, right? We went right for him.
Yeah. I like Howard Stern's thinking here. He said, all Miami has to do, and always I've wanted, go to Texas and take a player from Texas A&M, an eye for an eye. Very true.
Yeah, that would be
true. Miami's had some really good players from the state of Texas. Actually, if I recall, Brett, Damian Lewis was originally from Texas. Actually, like when he came, like Miami's D-line coach now before played at Miami. Yeah, I believe he was originally from Texas.
So let's go get him. Let's go. Let's send Howard Stern out there. I mean, maybe he can recruit.
Sean Helton, Brett, any Reuben Bain Jr. signings coming up at Caneswear?
Excellent question, Sean. We have not booked it yet. We have spoken to them, and we're hoping to book it soon.
Albert McKinney said, like I said, when's the next time we play? These guys got a couple of 5-star recruits and talking crazy. Yep. Humble Rabbi, South Florida kids have treated the U like an unwanted step. Yeah, that has happened in the past. Matthew Gittleman, who was the biggest surprise in spring camp? The biggest surprise.
Welcome to the show, Matthew.
The biggest surprise, I would say, I'm going to go with offense first, and then I'll go with defense. The biggest surprise was definitely, it's not a guy who's probably going to start this year, but really surprised me how advanced he was. Ben Congdon, the offensive tackle that Miami signed out of Ohio. I was not expecting for him to be as good as he is right now. Defensively, the guy that surprised, I would say, a little bit of a tough one. I'm going to go with, shoot, man.
That's why they call it Who Wants Smoke. I see the smoke rising from your head right now as you're trying to think about it. Okay.
No, I'm trying to figure who I would say for defense because I don't want to say an obvious name. I'd say rather someone that was more surprising than anything. Damn, he's really got me stumped on this one. Linebacker. You know what? I'll put it down as this. The guy that surprised me, not so much because I knew he could play, but I think fans have not given enough credit for the type of player that Omar Thornton is. I think
Omar Thornton, yeah.
I think he surprised some people.
We need to make those Omar Thornton. His family came in for the shirts. We got to make those shirts for Omar Thornton. Great people. Great people. Thank you, Matthew, for joining the show.
Howard Stern said, "You're picking and choosing now, Gio. Losing Matthews was an enormous loss. That simple. Can't sugarcoat it. Jaden Carey is going to be the best corner coming out of South Florida. Just watch him. Miami's treating him like a redhead stepchild." Well, it's all subjective. I think the best corner out of South Florida right now is Amir Sears, but that's just my opinion. Albert McCain, shut up, Florida troll talking. Albert, I promise Howard is not a Florida fan. He's actually a Miami fan. He's just very passionate. He said, we're going to strike out a couple more. We lost the running back. We lost left tackle. We're going to lose the tight end, and we're going to lose the defensive tackle from Chicago. Well, I wouldn't say Miami's losing the tight end. Miami kind of wedged in there late for Jackson Dollar. They were never in the picture long term. So it's kind of unfair to say that they're going to lose on him. But we'll see.
Definitely took his negative pills today, and and that's good. Keeps Gio on his feet.
233 ESPN. Sam was great. Sean Helton, Blake James was a horrible AD. Yeah, several people.
So Sam was great. That was Sam in the '80s, and Blake James. Yes, that was. We won't go there with Blake, but that was a sad time at Miami.
Recruiting is a marathon, not a sprint. Yes, the infamous quote.
Great point.
Most of Miami coaches use. Hassan said, Gio, you never know what happens. Remember, everyone thought DJ Jacobs was picking Miami, and they ended up picking the Buckeyes. Yes, that's very true. Even told Miami he was coming. Mm-hmm. We don't know what will happen, right? Yeah, look, Miami was expecting Mason Johnson-Cook. Ohio State was expecting Marquise Lightfoot and Miami him. So this goes both ways. It's not just
but people don't appreciate it. They don't appreciate it as much when we steal one as they are disappointed when we lose one.
Yeah, I agree. Howard Stern. So tell me, Jill, what did Ann do to push the needle for a kid that loved Miami for the last 3 years? What do they do to push the needle? Because I'm effing pissed. Look, Howard, it boils down to this. If he decides to follow through with Texas A&M, there is not a single thing that Miami hasn't put on the table for Mark Matthews. They have done everything. So what it boils down to is sometimes for some kids, they just don't want to be at Miami, no matter how good they are.
If he wasn't home, it'd be a different story, but he doesn't want to be home.
Look, I'll put it to you this way. Brett, do you remember – this is a very good story because I've heard this from former players who played for Miami in the late 90s, early 2000s. There was a receiver who played in the NFL and played at Pittsburgh, not Larry Fitzgerald, but it was one before him. His name was Antonio Bryant. He's originally from South Florida. I have heard literal stories that this kid regretted not going to Miami, seeing all his peers having success because he didn't go there. Yes, he still made it to the NFL, had success, but I've literally heard stories about this.
I've heard stories from plenty of players like that. You hear from a lot of people, I'm sorry I made that decision. I should have gone with my heart. I should have gone like that. Hindsight is 20/20. It's great. Not everybody makes the right decision. These kids will have an opportunity to change on the decision for right now, at least once or possibly 3 or 4 times. So if it doesn't work out for him, great. I mean, he can always come back here. It's not like we're not going to take him, and he knows that.
Howard Stern said, "Tell me, Gio, what did Texas A&M do to change Mark Matthews' mind? This kid is a diehard Hurricane fan, has been on Miami's recruiting section all the time for 3 years now. He's going to Texas. Yeah, we'll see. Still time on the clock. With Jacobs, Mason Cook. Can
you imagine if he comes here? We just did all this for naught. Not that I missed the show, but can you imagine all the people that were spent time worrying about this?
I'm not saying it's a 1-for-1, but it does remind me a little bit of the reactions of the Jackson Cantwell thing last year. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying it plays out the same way, but I think the fans just got to take a step back and relax. It's April right now.
Yes.
A lot of time.
So we're talking about this is the recruiting period for when is it? November, December, January? When is the first signing period?
It's like the second week of December.
Okay, so it's like nothing can be done till then.
Yeah.
Okay, so and he hasn't committed, but even if he did, he could always switch. And even if you commit, yeah. So let's see what happens. You're exactly right. There's a whole full season of football to be played.
Howard Stern said, again, I hate John Summerall and all the Gator fans, and they are shitting on us on X right now, and I can't stand it. Effing inbreds. Howard Stern, Gator fans are just usually like that, but wait until the season.
He is a John Summerall hater. He announces it every show. But you're right. The Gator fans, it's like somebody said a post on X is like, can you at least say something when you win a game?
So Papa Cole asked a really good question here. He said, when does the junior college offensive tackle come in? Jacob Hawks. Jacob Hawks will arrive, from what I recall, I believe it's going to be like near the end of May. So he'll get some time with the team, with some workouts and whatnot before fall camp, which will open up at like the first week of August. So that's when he's expected in. So he's going to get about a good 2 months with the program. Hassan, hey, Howard Stern, easy with the Mario hate. I'm sure FSU would rather have Mario than their Keebler elf coach, Mike Norvell. Mario took Miami to the playoffs and played for Natty, so you need to relax. I'm with Hassan. Howard Stern, man, you just got to take it down a few notches, my man. I get it, but there's no reason to be upset. It's April.
Exactly.
Howard Stern said here, Brett, what are you drinking? The Dolphins are not winning more than 5 games. No way.
Well, Ali, the funny thing is, a lot of people don't even think they'll win. The over-under is 4.5, I think. I think the Dolphins will be better than people think. I do think, and I'm drinking Happy Juice. If you should drink some too, I'll send you my recipe. So I think the Dolphins will do better than people think. I think, I think Malik Willis is a huge improvement at quarterback. I think he can run and he can pass. I think that we did lose Tyreek, which we didn't have last year. We did lose Waddle. I did like the draft. I think we're going to have a bigger offensive line. I think I'm excited about this team. I think we're going to surprise people. So this is going to be, we're going to surprise people going 10-7. And yes, can they be 7-10? Sure. Can they be 3 in how many games they play? 17, 14? Sure. I doubt they're going to be 17-0 though.
Let's see here. Canes Jones. Why panic in April? Do you not know what the coaches call Mario? Now sing that song. They call him Flipper.
Canes Jones, that's awesome. And Mario, that's a new shirt we need.
Johnny Jackson, the Emperor. I wonder why players aren't high on Miami. I wouldn't say no one's not high on Miami, to be honest. Look at how many.
Nobody wants us.
Look at how
many the country wants to come to Miami.
What's been the biggest theme I've seen this year, Brett? I've seen so many top players, whether they're truly interested in Miami or not. You're finding Miami in all the top groups now. Miami is an it school now.
We are in every top thing. Realize Ohio State, Texas A&M. Texas A&M has had number 1 recruiting classes before. They paid a lot of money even when they weren't allowed to pay a lot of money. Alabama, those schools are still recruiting too. We're not the only one out there. We're recruiting against these schools. Auburn's, they're right now, they're battling Alabama every year. They're a team that's got some great players in the past. So it's not like we're just competing against ourselves.
I love this question from Possum Jenkins, and I'm going to address it. He said, Steve Wiltfong hyped our class up so much, and I don't understand why he/they constantly focus on us and do that. Look, Possum, I'll say this because I've actually worked for the recruiting industry before, way back. Here's the thing. Obviously, they got to drum up suspense and everything, get people interested and want to listen and whatnot, or read or subscribe, however the case may be. The other thing, I'm not sure why he said this is not like the first year he said that. He's tried mentioning that. I think it was last year or the year before that, Miami has a really good shot at the number one class. I didn't think so back then that they even had the shot at the number one class. I will say this. I've been on record saying that, yes, I do think Miami could have a top 5 class this year just based off like the volume of higher quality players that they're after for and actually in it with this cycle. I think just him like even putting that in the air though of that, Miami pushing for the number one class. I think that's crazy considering Miami's not going to take a big class. Let's see here. Mr. Hey, Andy, thank you for stopping by. He said, let's go.
Let's go, Andy. He was sleeping on the job. He's getting here at 9:50.
Lance Cruz said, what is going on with Hayden Lowe? I'm not going to address that publicly here. Juan Manuel, Brett, don't believe your lies. If Miami sold out the game with Indiana, 87, Alex Bauman still makes his greatest moment in life. The block punt for 6.
Hopefully that play would not have mattered as much. As it was, we were driving to win the game. But you're right, Alex Bauman, what a play. And last year we were talking about how lucky we were to get Alex Bauman. Where did he come from, Tulsa or Tulane? They scored 9 touchdowns, right? We were excited about our tight end. This time last year, we were talking about our tight end room being our strongest position. With Lofton and him, we thought it was going to be so high. And obviously, it didn't turn out that way. That's why this year we're coming back and going to be a great tight end room.
Andy shared here, I want David Putney this year. He also said, where is my $100 gift cards from last week?
Yes, Andy loves that David Putney line. I have not seen that movie, Draft Day, but Andy has told me I have to see it.
Let's see. Keynes Jones said, to be honest, does Mason Johnson-Cook really think he's going deep in the playoffs at any time at Auburn? Yeah, Auburn is in a rebuild mode right now.
That makes no sense whatsoever in that respect. You are correct.
He said the best they will be in the next 3 to 4 years is top 6 in the SEC, which will keep them out of the playoffs. Very true. There's definitely some perspective there. Keynes Jones said, see him soon. Papa Cool said, OJ Frederico was a 3-star. You're absolutely correct. And I remember exactly what Miami fans said. They're like, why are we flipping a cornerback who's committed to West Virginia? I remember that. I do not forget that. Good friend of mine back then even said the same thing too. Like we both agreed on it. I'm sure many of you know like Andrew Farrelly, who's very involved in the 7-on-7 scene, big Hurricane fan as well. I know he's coached with Raw and everything over the years, Raw Miami. He even said it back then because I asked him about OJ Frederic back then. And he said he's like, no, like he's really underrated. Like he's a really good player, athletic and everything. There was no lie detected there because it showed up right away when he arrived on campus. So I think the fans just questioning evaluations and what Miami does. At this point, why are you doing that? Why are you doing that after everything that's transpired? But Andy said here, Gio, we need to get you a cool background. Yes, that's going to be happening very, very, very soon.
Mr. Hay, thank you so much. We appreciate you for sending in your donation to get him a cool background. Thank you very much. We got the next show. Gio will have a cool background. I'm making a prediction.
Howard Stern said, Amon Moten was a 4-star player from South. No, Amon Moten was a 3-star, actually. Unless they gave him a 4-star right at the end, but he was a 3-star majority of the cycle. He was a late bloomer at Cardinal Gibbons.
Funny. When we get 3 stars, a lot of times our fans are on X like, oh, wow, we got another. And the other fans, like the Gator fans, Florida State, I think they still have fans. It's like, oh, they got a 3-star, a 3-star. And look at him. He could be a first rounder next year.
Howard Stern said, it is annoying to lose Matthews, but not as bad because Ben Congdon is a good-looking prospect. There's some perspective, yes. Ben Congdon was very advanced this spring.
That's a great name, Ben Congdon.
He said, Howard Stern also said here, Gio, what players do you see reclassifying? So, Neiman Lawrence has already announced that he's going to stick in the 2028 class. Any other potential options out there? I've heard rumors that maybe Xander Edwards, who's like a high 4-star, 5-star running back, state of Florida. I believe he plays in Jacksonville. I know Miami's like really after him. He could possibly reclassify. I don't know if that'll happen. Bryson Wright, from what I've heard, the 5-star receiver who's in Jacksonville, a lot of rumors that he could be going to American Heritage now. I've heard is more likely he may stay in 2028, but there's also a chance that Tremont Isaac, high 4-star receiver at Chaminade Madonna Prep, really good slot receiver, could potentially reclass himself. That could be on the table. We'll see. Any other names I want to mention out there? One of them already happened, which I mentioned well over a month ago on my private board and other people in some group chats. But Jackson Vaughn, the 5-star defensive end from the state of New Jersey, he just announced his reclassification like 2 days ago. Miami's heavily in the mix there. That's another 5-star that they're involved with. Notre Dame in the mix there too. I know Auburn in the mix as well. A couple other programs. But Miami's in a pretty good spot there early on. Obviously, his recruiting clock speeds up now because of reclassifying. And anyone else I want to mention? Asher Jodo, the 5-star defensive end from Jacksonville as well, could potentially reclass. That's like a Miami and Florida battle. And last one I'll bring up, Amir Sears, who was just named the #1 player in the class of 2028, right in Miami's backyard. He plays at Christopher Columbus now, just transferred to Columbus this offseason from West Broward. And, there's a very good chance that he ends up in the class of 2027. I've heard that he will stay a 5-star prospect, even if he reclasses. He's that good.
Really?
So, Miami's in the mix for him, Texas A&M, LSU. I know Syracuse is also trying to work on him as well, but we'll see. Those are potential names there, Howard. Papa Cool said in Texas, E. Whitty, thank you for stopping by, E. Whitty. He said, "What's up, Gio? Just joining the stream. Did you talk about Hayden Lowe already? If you didn't, is he hurt or something?" Yeah, so I mentioned earlier, just not something I want to talk about publicly.
Thanks for joining the show, Eddie.
Judge Junox said here, Gio, you were just bragging about how many 5-stars we were on the other week and how good it is to actually be in it with top guys. Now trying to backpedal on hype evaluation gap. I'm not trying to do either. I'm not trying to pick a side, actually. I am going to say this, though. Miami still is involved with several 5-star prospects in this class. I've reiterated that over and over again. They're at the table for several guys this year. They're not going to land every single guy either. The other thing I will say, I'm a believer in Miami's evaluations because there's some guys that have been much lower rated than what the services think, and they've turned out to be really good players at Miami. Let's see. Andy said here, Brett, Gio, if you were in high school now as a 5-star players class of 27, what 5 schools would you take your official visit to? This is a really good question, Brett.
Excellent question. I mean, if you're high school now as a 5-star player, class of 27, I mean, I think you're going to take your visits to the teams that are obviously predominantly winners, and or the people that pay you the most. But I think I think Miami's in that mix now because, like you said, they're on everybody's chart. I mean, you got Alabama, which you don't see as much in there in the names anymore, even though they will have a top class. Alabama, obviously Ohio State. Texas A&M seems to be a major player right now. So those right there are 4 of them. And, the other one could be anyone. It could be anywhere from Indiana or to I haven't seen Clemson's name in anything really big right now, but that 5th one could be determined.
Yeah. So I'll say my OVs. Obviously Miami. The other one I'll say, let's put in there. Some Miami fans are going to hate me for this one, but this has to do with some of the extracurriculars that go on in terms of what they do, trying to convince kids to visit. But Texas A&M,
Mhm.
They are one of those schools that maybe gives a little extra incentive to visit a place. Another program I'll throw in there, Georgia. I know Georgia hasn't had playoff wins recently, but still a really good program. I'm going to also go with let's go with Oregon. I want to see just Jersey U, basically, all the different jerseys they have, all the
Yes.
different jersey combinations. And I got 2 more OVs left, right? So I said, no, wait.
One.
Yeah, no, I do have 2 OVs left. I said Miami, Georgia, Texas A&M. I'm going to throw in there. What should I go with? Miami. No, wait, no. I only have 1 OV because I said Miami, Texas A&M, Georgia, and Oregon. So I only have 1 OV left. All right, so I'm going to go with something outside the box. But this is the thing, though. It wouldn't work if I were a recruit because I would love an OV to Hawaii. However, Hawaii does not let kids officially visit there unless they're actually recruiting you or you actually have an offer. They don't allow it, from what I've heard. Let's see here. Bleed orange and green said Go Canes.
Go Canes.
TJ, big weirdo crowd for a 7-5 team. You can have that. Witty, some clips have been popping up on my Twitter timeline from the Natty game. Gio, do you have any insight on why the coaches didn't have OJ cover Becker the whole game, or were they just targeting Ethan? Yeah, well, the thing with OJ as well, he was also a little nicked up in the championship game. I hear you, though, that it would have been nice to have a little more availability from him, or even potentially having Damari Brown, or even, if Xavier Lucas didn't miss the first half, it would have been much more ideal. It's definitely tough, though. I hear you. Wheel Team 6, thank you for stopping by. Wants that big stadium crowd at Lehman M to watch them lose to the U. Jacobs wants to go to some shithole in Columbus that lost to the U. Other SEC teams that Miami went 5-0 against. Very true. I've said this before as well. Yeah, I mean, Miami did go undefeated against the SEC. So Judge Junox also said, is the reason we didn't hire Pat Surtain because of the fight at FSU between him and Connor and Huss? I don't think it's necessarily that. I can't go into like full detail on that. I will say, though, that yes, they were interested in him at one point, though. I'll just leave it at that. Proud Cat Dad of 8. Having a top class means that you sign a lot of players, yes, regardless of stars. If we take a lower amount, then we won't be in top 5. I think Miami can be in that top 5 with like a decent amount. Like if you sign like anywhere between 24, 26 guys, and you get a good portion of in that group of like 5 stars and a good chunk of 4 stars as well, it could be done.
Mm-hmm. Smash that like button. We got a lot of likes today and love as well. And remember to subscribe to the all-new Caneswear channel, Caneswear TV, youtube.com/Caneswear. Is that it, Gio? Or
yeah, youtube.com/Caneswear.
All right, we got to get those numbers up. We appreciate everybody for joining us. Another great podcast and lots of questions. Gio?
See, Miami Phil, let's face it, a lot of people are upset because they ran their mouths early in the process and they are now afraid to get trolled. Too much talking on the net. The Keontae Scott quote. Too much talking on the net. Get on the trail and do something. Golden Child 305. How does Alababala compare to Matthews as a prospect? Well, I think Matthews is a little more physically developed. Alababala has to put on a little more size and weight. However, Alababala is a really good athlete, plays multiple sports as well. I think maybe needs a little more refinement, but both still really good prospects, though. Canes Jones said here, Fletcher was committed to Ohio State. We had a coach that's known for flipping players. Our staff is relentless. Yes, absolutely. Witty, Miami has to be one of the worst fan bases when it comes to complaining about recruiting misses. It's like we forget how NIL and the recruiting process works. I agree with you, Witty.
I think it's every big program that is in this that misses out on anybody. I'm sure when they miss out to us, their fans are very angry. How did we lose out to Miami? They haven't won anything in forever.
Yeah. Ewitty said, prime example, I grew up with Peter Woods and played on the same high school team at Thompson, Alabama. It's just a defensive tackle at Clemson last year. He actually just won in the NFL draft. He was at Alabama lean for the longest and ended up going to Clemson. Yeah. Look, I'll give a great example. Even though I don't think it's the best because it was pre-NIL, so there was a lot of stuff happening under the table. But Sony Michel, who played at American Heritage, he was known as like a huge, huge Miami fan. He did not end up signing with Miami. He went to Georgia. Sometimes it just happens.
Mm-hmm.
One
guy I thought he would do great in the NFL. He was with New England and just never made it. I was really surprised. He had a great career.
He had some injuries too when he got to the league. He was still a really good player in college, though.
Oh, he was great in college, but I thought he would. I meant I'm on my fantasy team.
Debriz said here, Gio, the construction during the spring was a major failure. And he said, when it comes to getting the elite of the elite, can't leave any stone unturned. We have the ACC facility situation working against us, and have the construction going during spring was a bad look. I don't think it's necessarily a bad look. I think it's just a sign of a program that's like just adding more, just building. But I hear you, though. It's at least aesthetic wise, it's not like the most ideal thing when you're hosting guys on campus.
Mm-hmm.
But it shouldn't be done in fall, though. Blue Green Street, are we going to lock down Amir Sayers or whiff on him too? I mean, Miami's been the favorite for some time, so it's all up to them. Golden Child 305, will you ever bring the original starter jackets back to Canes wear?
Well, we've had them for I don't know, for several years. We are going to get them back. I don't know when exactly we're going to have them. I don't think I don't know if we're going to have them this year. We are trying to get a jacket though. We'll see if we can get those original starter jackets back this year. We've sold a lot of them, thousands. They were awesome, Golden Child. Good point.
Juan Manuel said, I'm hitting the transfer portal, but I'll be back after the next 5-star commit.
That's funny.
He said, how will the new AD affect Miami? I already answered that. I don't think it's going to be like, yeah, it's important, like from a business sense of things. However, I think the more important thing is the fact that Miami has a president now that they've never had before that truly cares about sports. Debriz said, the donors need to stay away from recruits and trying to get attention, need some guardrails. He also said, is Ruiz back in the fold with his new entity doing nails? I don't know. I haven't talked to John Ruiz in years. Juan Manuel said, we don't have the whole story on Sorsby. It's no base on what he did at Indiana. There is fire that involves 3 schools, the NCAA, millions of dollars, and high-paid lawyers. This story will blow up. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see as it goes with the Sorsby story. Debriz said, Gio, the big boosters move in silence. The loud ones seeking attention are always the problem. I agree with you, which is another reason why the Canes connection was created. There's very large powers at play that are involved with Miami, and they don't care for the limelight or wanting to be known as like, yeah, I'm the guy putting this or that down. Juan Manuel said, Howard Stern, I wouldn't call our new tight end coach names. You may find him incognito waiting in the bathroom tub to put you to sleep for taking a leak at 2 a.m. Yeah, he was a military man.
Yes, I definitely wouldn't either. But Howard Stern,
he got the Purple Heart, I believe it was. I got to look back at it. I posted about it when he was hired. David Bray said here, Gio, the construction of the IPF during spring was a major failure. Yeah, we already talked about that. Sean Helton, Mario Cristobal will get recruiting straight. A lot of time left. I agree with you, Sean. Juan Manuel, tell us some good news on the team. Not much I could say right now, actually, because, they just finished up spring. Now it's a lot of player-led activities, as Mario Cristobal has said. I'll get some feedback on that in the next couple of weeks. It's going to be kind of dead in that aspect, not hearing too much about current things with the team, but they will have player-led activities. They'll have workouts and whatnot. So I'll get some feedback on that soon and hear if anyone's shining or any of the guys that are arriving for fall. Miami's got
Well, we have
3.
what we say, 16 weeks before the first game.
Yeah, 16 weeks before
16
the
weeks
first game.
before the first game. We won 13 games last year. We're loaded with talent this year, and we're coming off a national championship game, which we almost won. I know that doesn't get you anywhere, but and usually in the past when we've lost national championships, we've come back and played pretty good the next year. 86 we lost. We won 87. We won't go to 2001, 2002 because nothing happened after that one. We'll just stick with 86, and we'll see. 88 we lost a tough game to Notre Dame, and then we went ahead and won the national championship in 89. So we're going to be fine this year. We're going to be awesome.
Howard Stern said here, Hassan, if you really think Mario is a strong head coach, ask yourself, without the support he's getting, how good will he be as a coach? He'll be the same as Manny, he just speaks better. I don't agree with that. He's a much better coach than Manny Diaz has been.
Manny did with the ACC last year, but I think Mario does have a lot more to work with, a lot more money, a lot of other things. But at the same time, I think Mario has shown he can build an offensive line, he can build a defensive line. And for years, we've been saying if we could only get the trenches back, if we can only get the trenches back like the 80s, and now we do have the trenches back, and that's Mario.
Howard Stern said here, Antonio Bryant didn't have a committal offer to Miami, just like Elvis Dumerville. I'm going to ask a very well-versed historian that I know who followed recruiting through the 90s, like word for word, every single thing that went on back then. I got a good friend of mine that I could ask to kind of get the full details on that, because I've heard some stories about Antonio Bryant from former players. So I'm going to ask the guy specifically who would know. Apollo Sayre said Miami didn't want to offer an Antonio. One Manuel said here, is there a chance Matthew keeps up with Miami's O-line and sees rapid development of Cantwell, Ben Congdon, Joel Irvin, and thinks a starting spot isn't guaranteed? The kid may not want to compete. Who knows? Who knows what's going through his mind? But Miami will get another shot at seeing him this week, so we'll see what comes out of it. Like I said, Sean Helton, I still believe Miami could flip DJ Jacobs and Mark Matthews and keep Nick Lanier. Yeah, anything's possible. There's still a lot of time. You know, just as everyone's talking about Mark Matthews right now, there's teams going after Nick Lanier. Miami's still chasing DJ Jacobs. So, yes, there's a lot that could still happen. I think fans are too worked up and too amped up about things that they can't even control right now, and so far out from even being like penned in, like etched in stone.
I think a part of it is there's nothing going. Spring practice is over. Spring game's over. There's nothing going on for a couple of months, so this is what everyone has to focus on. I mean, and if you're a Miami sports fan, there's no Heat in the playoffs. There's no Panthers. There's really nothing going on. So this recruiting is like the biggest thing out there.
I'm with JoJo Gunn on this. Who cares that the Gators got a couple of recruits? We just blew them out 2 years in a row. I'm with you, JoJo.
Exactly, JoJo.
Proud Cat Dad said it's April, not December. Just chill. Agreed. Wow. Andy said Dolphins, 8 wins coming from a Jets fan.
All right. Almost the 10 I got, but thank you, Mr. Hey, Andy. 8 wins. I mean, I think most Dolphin fans will take 8, and it crushes the 4.5, which is the over-under. So, according to Andy, bet the over. Are we allowed to say that?
Sean Helton said, Ruben Bain Jr., Defensive Rookie of the Year, 100% facts. Wow.
I love that. I've got him at 151 to be the actual Defensive Player of the Year.
Juan Manuel said here, well, you know what? I'll tell you this, Brett. The defense that he's going into, in Todd Bowles' defense, they had Shaquille Barrett there as a pass rusher, whose profile is very similarly to Ruben Bain. Maybe Ruben Bain's plays with more power than Barrett did, but very similar athletic profiles and everything. That guy had 19 sacks in Todd Bowles' defense. So hey, I wouldn't be surprised.
Bain's getting 30 this year.
What happened?
Bain's getting 30 this year, you're saying.
30, wow. I mean, the guy had like over 85 quarterback pressures last year in college is insane.
If he's not held every other play, he's unstoppable.
Yeah. One Manuel said, Howard Stern, an antidepressant will do you good. Drugs may be good for you. Howard Stern said, Lofton is such a mystery, all this hype, but I will say this. He changed the whole game plan the first half of the national championship game. Not agreed. Yes. I mean, if Miami had him in that game, who knows what happens. One Manuel, Brett, the Dolphins having a successful season. Put the wacky tobacco peace pipe down, my friend. Apollo Sayer, Riley Williams should have stayed at Miami, but now he's at Mississippi State. Yeah, he moved on from Oregon State. Initially, he was a little homesick, ended up leaving Miami, went back home to Oregon. Then he moved on again. Eesh. Oh, now he's in the SEC, as they say now. But yeah, I agree with you. He should have stayed at Miami. Howard Stern said, when is Miami going to get some new jerseys? These jerseys are so played out. They look like the 1980s. Stay tuned.
Yeah, so it's stay tuned. But Mario, if he had his way, we'd wear orange every time. And he's not Joe Paterno, who doesn't want to put names on them. But Mario is, steadfast. He'd wear orange every game if he could, I think.
Kane's Doc 21. He said, Howard Stern, you are dumb as F. Nick Saban would be Manny Diaz without support. That's just a stupid as hell statement. No shit.
That's a good point. That is a good point. Yes.
Howard Stern said, why do you think Keontae Scott dropped to the fourth round? I think, look, I asked the former player about this, and this is his take on it, that, Keontae Scott is purely like a nickel, and there was possibly some teams there that were not comfortable with spending such a high pick on a guy that may be pigeonholed to one position. A lot of nickels in the NFL, some are able to play out on the boundary. They're able to play inside a nickel. Some are a nickel and safety. So I get it. I understand. Do I think he was a fourth rounder? No, I think at minimum, he should have been a second rounder, in my opinion. He killed his workouts and combine and everything. He did everything right. So, hey, man, you know what? It sucks. It sucks because the NFL does look for versatility and everything. But I think he's going to be just fine in the Bucs system, honestly. I think he landed into a great spot. It's not about where you drafted. It's about how you finish.
Exactly. But one thing, everyone talks about why Keontae fall. Nobody has said why a guy we had in the secondary went from a 6th or 7th rounder where it was predicted. He was supposed to be drafted over the 200 number, and he went in the 3rd round, Jacoby Thomas. Nobody's talking about Jacoby Thomas jumped up 3 or 4 rounds, which is phenomenal. But nobody, we need to appreciate that also. Nobody thought, if you would have been a betting man and said, who's going to be drafted first, Keontae?
Everyone would have said Keontae.
Everybody would have taken Keontae. So the fact that Jacoby went so high is phenomenal for the Hurricanes and for Jacoby. So spectacular move by him. I think that was as impressive as anything in the draft. He moved up higher than anybody for where they were calculated to be drafted.
Kane's Doc 21. All of y'all complaining about Mario and think he is still average or whatever. You are lacking mentally.
I agree. Last year we said Mario it could be the problem. After SMU, we're all on Mario except for Hassan. And Mario, you know what? His back was against the wall. Whatever happened between whoever talked to Mario, he became a different person after that game. And you're right. In Mario, I trust right now.
D-Briz said here, Gio, the IPF construction being delayed and taking place during the spring session was a major faux pas. Blue Green Street, are we going to hire a cornerback coach? The infamous question. So I'll say this. Oregon spring game, obviously done and over with. All that. Rashad Wadu, cornerback coach at Oregon. There's been no shock or surprise about it to this point that, Mario Cristobal's really wanted him. Miami's wanted him and whatnot. Here's the thing I'll say. If it happens, great, because Miami would have a really good shot at landing the 5-star cornerback in Dante Wright. And Wadud also has a lot of strong connections to the West Coast as well for some other DBs, just now and even in the future. And really good relationships in the state of Florida as well, by the way. The other thing I'll say to it, though, I've said this several times. When it comes to local coaches here in South Florida, some who have players committed to Miami, some that have had kids that just enrolled as well, and some with kids being recruited by Miami, has specifically said that they've referred to Terry Jefferson as the cornerbacks coach. Is that the case? We'll see. It's been a very gray area with that. So we'll see when it gets officially announced. Andy said here, Weinstein, Silverman, and Weinstein will be serving Canesware for the gift cards, which I will donate to Gio for his Miami background.
Oh, that's very sweet. That's very sweet.
Sergio, are pool parties a thing in the past? Would the kids rather prefer private visits? No, Miami's not the only school who does that. There's several other schools who do that. Geo Kane 75. What's up with the defensive tackles Malik Lee and Jamar Thompson? So I know Miami really liked what they saw from the body type of Malik Lee when he visited, I think it was the last week of spring practice, which was the other week. And when it comes to Jamar Thompson, a little bit of a holding pattern there because Miami's mostly focused right now on David Fallerone show. They really like Ezekiel Ayongbile from the state of Texas. I believe he's from the state of Texas. And there's another name I'm forgetting here that I know that they really like. But hold on a second. I actually have it right here. I can tell you right now. Hold on a second. I want to give you a proper answer to that. Oh, here we go. Because this is coming from my update from the Discord. Marquise Evans from the state of Alabama. A little bit of an under-the-radar name, but someone that Miami actually likes on the interior. He's listed as an edge if you look at the recruiting sites, but Miami likes him as an interior lineman. They're really focused on those guys. But Lee and Jamar Thompson, they're all in the mix and everything. I think if Miami decides to go in that direction of Jamar Thompson, they can absolutely land him. He loves Miami. But we'll see. They're still in that kind of process of active evaluations. Fallerone shows the biggest priority right now, though. Howard Stern said, all the hillbilly schools offered kids money just to visit. Very true.
What do they offer to visit?
What happened?
What do they offer to visit?
Well, compensation.
I was figuring that. I think it was
but the other thing, though, is what it used to be back in the day was you used to get past a McDonald's bag with cash in it. That's what the street agents used to do pre-NIL.
Interesting.
Kim Sanchez said, hi, Brett.
Hi, Kim. Kim, my number one hair cutter. Thank you very much, Kim. Hair done by Kim. So you can all see it right there.
Blue Green Street said, I met Greg Oden at the spring game. Who was he representing? Greg Oden, the former
basketball
guy and Portland Trailblazer?
Miami Heat, too, went to at the end. Yeah. Ohio State played that, right?
Yeah, I didn't know he was there.
Yes,
I saw several other people, but I didn't see Greg Oden, though.
Interesting.
Howard Stern said here, Brett, can we get some rest in peace Florida State T-shirts with the Osceola Seminole guy inside of a coffin?
R.I.P. FSU. That actually is a pretty cool one. Let's beat them this year, and then we can do it.
Juan Manuel said, Gio and Brett, seriously, what happened to Clemson? I'm seeing similar things in Georgia. Do you think Clemson will be competitive this year or mid? I think, well, one of two things. They had a really big quarterback problem. There were so many people that continuously hyped up Cade Klubnik, and I was one of the few that always said, not to do my point here, but I was consistent with it. I always said that Cade Klubnik was not that good of a quarterback, that he was overhyped.
Yes, you did.
And people saw that take place. Now, the other thing, I think they're not getting enough talent at the skill positions as they used to. They still recruit well, O-line, D-line, and everything, but they're lacking, the difference makers at the skill positions, in my opinion. Sergio said here, do you think these kids are saying no to Miami? I don't think it's so much that they're saying no. It's just Miami's not for everyone. Sean Helton, will the Miami Hurricanes football team ever get a closer home stadium, closer to campus? I don't think in my lifetime, at least.
I don't think so. Right now, we're playing in one of the premier stadiums in the world. We just had the Super Bowl there. We just had the national championship there, which we played in. We rotate. So I think while it's not right next door to campus, I don't think we're going to get anything close. We can't get anything with Coral Gables, and we're not getting the Orange Bowl back. But I think we're going to be here for a little while.
Sergio finished his question here. So he said, do you think these kids are saying no to Miami because of the conference? They'd rather be in the SEC versus ACC. That's an interesting one because I've always been with the take that I've said that I believe Miami, their destination should be the Big Ten. I expect that to be where they go when these TV contracts come up, like between 2029 and 2030. So it's coming up around the corner. I can't say for certain. I know there was that SEC bias before, but the easiest tool Miami could use is say, hey, we were 5-0 against the SEC. We beat 2 SEC teams on the way to the national championship. So much for the SEC. But yeah, there is that thing where a lot of kids think, oh, SEC. It's very tough to say at this point, honestly. 305 Sports now said recruiting is a marathon. Absolutely. Howard Stern said, Gio, do you remember the mystery of Nate Robinson, the 5-star recruit from New Jersey in 2003? I don't, actually. Kevin Dennis, can't win 8 games if you want Jeremiah Smith.
That's so true. I don't think I think the new coaching and general manager though will take whatever wins they can get to keep their job. So you never know in the NFL, not for long. If one bad year, you could be out.
Hassan said, hey, Howard, if you think Manny is as good as Mario, you're not just negative Nancy, you are also delusional. So please go somewhere with your negativity because you're bringing everyone down. And JoJo followed that up with Howard Stern. If I was as miserable as you, I'd find a new team ASAP. So Howard Stern retorted, JoJo and the other weirdo, nobody's being miserable. But you got to understand when somebody effed up, Mario effed up, that's a big loss. You keep – oh, man, this is too much. Juan Manuel, Gio and Brett, are these commits binding? Because if they sign a contract, it may not matter. The NCAA signing day. Did Matthews put pen to paper NIL contract? Yeah, so that's a good point that you bring up, Juan Manuel. Here's the thing. For example, I know there was still some communication between Miami and Brett Kolojay last year, who they really loved as an interior lineman, but he ended up initially committing to USC and all the forthwith and whatnot. Mind you, I spoke with someone who has like direct contact with a good majority of his family, and it was a difficult decision for Kolojay to pick USC over Miami. Like they even thought about it and deliberated even after if it was the right one or not. Who knows? Maybe if it doesn't work out at USC, he'd be in Miami in a year or two. But the thing with USC, for example, from last year, like with that big class they signed, a lot of those kids signed binding paperwork, like compensation-wise and NIL, ahead of like even officially signing in the class. It has to do something with how they have it set up at USC, but they spent a lot of money last year. As far as I know, I don't think Texas A&M does that, but I don't know. Maybe I could be right. Maybe I could be wrong. I'm not sure on that question right now. Hassan said here, Howard, you are miserable and delusional, so go be a spoon fan or find a hobby or kick rocks. Yeah.
Listen. The great thing about this show, I just got to say, is we take every message, which I don't know if many people do. We take every comment. We've got the comedy here. We've got the back and forth. We've got the banter. I mean, I'm not just saying I love this show because we do it, Gio, but I mean, where else can you get this kind of entertainment and disentertainment?
Yeah. Sean Helton asked here, hey, Brett, any Ruben Bain Jr. Miami Hurricanes stitched jersey coming?
I don't believe we will have any. He's number 4, so I don't think we'll have any stitched Ruben Bain jerseys. It is possible. but I think we'll have some Ruben Brain jerseys in stock. A lot of people are requesting them, so we shall see. If we can get Stitch, we will as well.
Howard Stern shared here, hey, bro, we're not all Mario lover fans. I don't disrespect Saban. That man knows how to coach football. He's game plan for games. Mario can't even game plan for oh, my God. Juan Manuel said here.
Back on Mario's bandwagon. I don't know what happened to him. I mean, Howard Stern fell out of bed.
Juan Manuel brings up a great point here on Keontae Scott. He's absolutely right. He said, Keontae Scott is not just the nickel. He is also an outstanding punt returner. That's very true. He was all conference as a punt returner before. I know.
That was, I'm disappointed the Dolphins did not draft him.
He said, I think some GM will regret not drafting Scott. He could be all pro at 2 positions.
100% correct. I think Keontae is going to be a beast.
Howard Stern said, if it's up to Nick Saban, they're going to find a way to kill NIL because they want these hillbilly racist states, especially the SEC, to still be the king of college football.
All righty then.
Let's see here. Sean Hilton asked, Gio, is Malachi Tony on the cover of the new NCAA Football 27 video game? I'm not sure who's going to be the cover athlete this year or the cover athletes per se, because sometimes they put multiple. You should expect an announcement for that, though, sometime this month, actually. The marketing is going to kick up for that because I believe their release date for the new college football video game, I think it's going to be like July 8th or so. That's what the rumor is from the leaks that have poured out from EA, Electronic Arts, EA Sports. So we'll see if that takes place. But there are people actually playing a closed and private version of the game. There's a lot of changes with this year. People who love equipment stuff and, the aesthetic, the authentic stuff about college football, they've added a lot of equipment this year that makes it look a little more true to life. Oh, and if there's people who play on a PC rather than a console, it'll be on computer this year as well. That's the word that's coming through.
Wow.
Yeah. Let's see. Sergio said here, I live in Northern California and will be at the Stanford game. Will I see you guys there? First round of Arizona on me.
Oh, you can't beat that deal, Gio. You got to get on a plane now.
I got to see about that if I'm going to make that trip or not. There's a little planning I have to do behind that. That's yeah. I haven't been to California in years, actually. I've been to Vegas in recent years, but I haven't been to California. We're talking a little over 10 years now, actually. Hassan shared here, hey, bro, I did not say everyone is Mario, but you hating on Mario is tiresome. If you don't like him, go somewhere else. So let go. He's our coach, so let's stand behind him instead of tearing him down. I'm with Hassan on this. We can't put a barrage of negativity on the program.
Correct,
right now.
Yes. First of all, that does not, if you're doing it on X, you're doing it anywhere else, it does not help prospective athletes that are looking for any reason to not go to a school sometimes. Obviously Howard Stern can be however he wants. I know it's part of a shtick with him, and that is how Howard Stern is. But I do understand what everybody's saying. I have no idea what I'm saying, but I understand what everybody else is saying.
Johnny Jackson, the Emperor. Mario's waiting till the end to scoop them up.
I agree.
Howard Stern said here, Hassan, you're deeply in love with Mario. I can tell it must be the fake Cuban accent that you like so much. Andy said, we need David Putney's special teams. And the last 2 questions or comments. Juan Manuel said, why would you want to leave Hard Rock and build a home stadium and be in debt? Nate Robinson, passed away from cancer. He went to okay. And the last one, thank you for stopping by, Joe Wren, actually a new face here. He said, the sky is falling, all because a 17-year-old that decided he didn't want to compete for the left tackle spot and grab more cash. Can't really blame the kid, but these so-called fans, miserable souls. Well, there's some points that are right and some points I would disagree with there. At least it's not a money thing, but I hear him, though, on some of the other stuff, though. Mm-hmm. Hassan said, no, I'm a real Miami fan. I'll support the team. Oh, my God. And Howard said, I like Mario. He's not the best. He's your best.
I think, Howard Stern is looking for any reason to knock Mario while he's got a chance. Because last year he came out with all the guns against Mario. Then Mario turned it around, won all those games, went to the championship game, so he had nothing bad to say. And he's been saying positive things every single show because he is a regular. Okay, like a lot of you guys are regular.
I'm going to say this.
I think that he has finally a chance to knock Mario, to drop him. He wants to do that. He's been waiting for that haymaker. And he's so excited.
I'm going to say this based on how this past season played out. Because if you go by the recruiting sites, technically, Malachi Tony and Bryce Fitzgerald were not the best two players to come out of South Florida. There was someone else they had at the top for that respective class for the 2025 group. However, you watch this past season, they were the best players to come out of South Florida. So who's to say if Mark Matthews is the best player coming out of South Florida? Maybe it's Nick Lanier. Maybe it's someone else. Maybe it's Andre Hippolyte. Who knows? You don't really know until these guys get to campus. You really don't know.
I think since we are looking for new shows, Howard Stern and Hassan could be at their own show here with Mr. Hey. We got Benny and the boys starting soon. We're working on some other shows. Can you imagine Howard Stern and Hassan with Mr. Hey? Those three right there on their own show. I think that would be awesome.
Let's see here. One man will say Nate Robinson was what Vince Wilfork ran out to be. He didn't pass his SAT to satisfaction. I believe he developed and passed away from cancer. Wow. I got to look that up then. Howard Stern said here, Brett, can you make Hassan a Papi Salon shirt with Mario's face on it? Oh man.
You can tell we're at the past the 11 o'clock zone.
Yeah. Hassan said, hey Howard, did Mario? Oh my God. At the end of the day, it's go Canes, F the rest, next man up.
Exactly.
Oh my. The comments these two have going back and forth is hilarious. But Sean Helton, your last comment of the night. Mario Cristobal has worked his butt off since he got here. I love his passion for the Miami Hurricanes football. Absolutely agree with you, Sean. Look, Mario absolutely cares about the program. He doesn't plan to go anywhere. He, at least to this point, has had no desire of wanting to coach in the NFL. This is where he wants to be. And he's taken Miami to the pinnacle of college football, to the biggest game. There's just only one thing left for him to do: win the whole damn thing. So, you know what? I like the direction Miami's headed in. I understand why fans may get upset about certain things and whatnot. The program's fine. The program is fine at the end of the day.
Absolutely.
So, with that said, for everyone who's been watching, please make sure to download the Caneswear app on your Apple or Google app stores.
What do they get right now, Gio, if they do it?
What happened?
Till Sunday, what do they get if they download the app and buy it?
That's what I was about to say. Till Sunday,
right.
You can get 16% off your purchase if you use the app to make your purchase. It's only this week through Sunday. So take advantage of that. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. It's a brand new channel. We need your support, likes, everything. YouTube.com/Caneswear. And Brett, any last thoughts?
Any last thoughts? Great show. I think this could have been, for a day that nothing is really going on, this could have been a record for questions. We got more. I know during the season, and I know during the draft day was big, but this was during the spring game. But there was quite a few questions today, quite a few watchers. Show's consistently doing well. We thank you very much. Hopefully for the next one, Mondo will be out of timeout and he'll be able to join us. Great show. We love all the camaraderie here. We know everybody on here loves the Canes. Sometimes we get people bashing the Canes and we see them right away. But it's a great show. We had a lot of new guys joining us today. I see Sean says, Gio and Brett, have a great rest of your night. Thank you. You as well, Sean. Everybody have a fantastic night. We'll be open all weekend at Caneswear. Come visit us. And like Gio said, like, subscribe, and share. And we'll be on soon again. Where are you tomorrow, Gio? You're on a couple of shows, right?
Yeah, for everyone still watching or anyone who watches the replay after, I know several people watch the replay afterwards. I'll be on Locked on Canes tomorrow morning, and I'll be on Comics on Canes as well in the early afternoon. So you'll be seeing my face more to talk about.
All right, great stuff. Thank you again for everybody. We appreciate you guys, each and every one of you. Thank you, and we will see you soon. Go Canes.